Welcome to Late Night Comfort. It is Saturday night, Saturday evening, so you know that it is time for the internet's best kept secret, your favorite late night talk show with some of your favorite guests, Late Night Comfort, here on Carrying Comfort Studios. My name is Wes. My pronouns are he, they. You can follow me on Twitter at ThirstTrapMoth. And I've got my fucking dear, dear good friend and homie here with me.
Hey, it's me, the him known as Derrick. You can find me everywhere at the Phasing Octopus, except for Twitter, where it's just Phasing Octopus.
Perfect. Derek, how's your week been, homie?
It's been cool. I've been fighting a cold,
Okay.
so I've been at home a lot more, so that's great.
Not spending
And
money. There you
sleeping,
go.
you know,
There you go.
and sleeping. And I watched a video essay on the Final Fantasy house.
Oh God. Yeah, the Final Fantasy. If you don't know what the Final Fantasy house, it's all about a fucking goddamn grift.
it's
Tell
it's the
people
best
about it.
worst cult. Like it's the best worst cult ever. So this is thing about other kin and soul bonding with video game characters
Mm-hmm.
and all of this stuff, and the people believe that they are like the human incantate. I mean, like iterations of like these video game characters.
Yes.
And so this lady convinced these other people to come to the house, like support her in her like thing. I don't want to call it anything crazy or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Everybody do what they do, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and so this person writes about all this. And so I watched this video essay of all that, like the 4chan posts, all that stuff put together, and like gave the whole story. It's wow.
We'll go ahead and share a link on Discord.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
great.
video game characters are video game characters. They're not real people.
Man, some people got to make their money how they have to. So look, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day, and we've got another conversation coming up soon. But first, before we get the conversation going, we have to try and get our Kay, I see your questions. Thank you. Stop tagging me on Discord. I got, but we got conversations going and everything like that. But before we get to conversations, we got to read the ad copy. We've got to do the money machine thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and get through these sponsors here real quick. Go ahead and show them some love though, please. They help us out whenever they can and however they can. But first up, we have Callow. Callow Energy is a game-focused plant-based supplements company that we have partnered with and that I use in my daily life. I use Q-Focus to help me stay focused at the computer when instead of playing Apex Legends or anything else, I make overlays, write scripts, and things of that nature. And then I also use Q-Sleep to help me sleep after I've taken my whole day writing scripts, making overlays, other stuff like that. They also have a brand new product out called Q Energy that is a powdered energy drink that gives you a boost without the crash like most energy drinks on the market, including things like the Big G that all the big streamers have, as well as other things like Red Bull and Monster. Callow has you covered no matter what. Be sure to use code COMFORT at checkout to earn 10% off your Callow purchases. Now, you can follow the link in the chat right there. Or you can also click their logo down below us on the About section and hit them up and get 10% off your purchase when you use code COMFORT at checkout. Next, we have Dice Envy. If you're ever looking to grab some dice to fill your coffers, like I've got over here, then consider using our referral link in chat and in our About section to grab a very special set from Dice Envy just for you or others. Dice Envy provides high-quality handcrafted dice at a very reasonable price, but they don't just offer dice. They also provide dice trays, dice bags, and more. They are also not overtly expensive, and they come to you very efficiently, very quickly, and not chipped or damaged like another big dice maker on the market that has 8 phalanges.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Derek,
I just ordered some today.
Yeah, and you
I use code COMFORT.
Yeah, you got 10% off your order. Fucking utilizing all your resources. Look, we're giving you this code for 10% off for free, all right? This is for free. You don't even have to do anything. And you can use this as many times as you want. It's not a first-time purchase or anything like that. You use it multiple times. Go for it. That's That's taking care of taxes right there. You don't have to pay you essentially don't have to pay taxes. There you go. Look at you. Go ahead, check that out. But yeah, you got like a really pretty set, and then you also got their mystery dice set, right?
Yeah, I got the Song of Rest set. It's like purple with
Nice.
like music notes and bars on it. Man,
That's perfect for
I'm looking
you.
forward to that.
That's got color and music on it. That's it's got your color too, like blues
Right.
and purples, man. That's you to a T.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and use code Comfort at checkout as well, so you get 10% off of your order. Speaking of 10% off your order, guess what? 1985 Games are the creators of Dungeon Craft, an affordable way to upgrade campaigns from hand-drawn maps to stunning visual worlds. Unlike many terrain solutions on the market, Dungeon Craft is priced to allow any gamer to upgrade their campaign with over 1,000 cutout pieces without having to spend the equivalent of a dragon's hoard. Use our link in the chat or in the About section and check them out for new battle mats, miniatures, and their new deck of stories. Use code COMFORT at checkout for 10% off. I would show you some 1985 game stuff, but our package has not arrived yet, and I've got a bunch of packages by my door that I'm taking to the post office tomorrow morning to ship out to some people that won it from giveaways. So, if you don't want to use code COMFORT at checkout to get 10% off your 1985 game orders, you can just hang out in our Carrying Comfort Studios Twitch chat or on the Discord, and when we do giveaways and stuff, you can earn your own stuff like different battle maps or some deck of stories or some free dice that you're getting. Yes, I'm looking at you. There's a little kitty beside me. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm looking at you. I've been talking about ad copy for a while, haven't I, Derek?
It's been a good minute.
It has been a good minute. It's been a really good minute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stop talking, and let's introduce our guest. You might know him from such shows as Philadelphia by Night over on Philly by Night over on Roland D's 20s. Philly, not Philadelphia, Philly by Night. You may also know him from Wayward Revelry over on his own channel at Dimples and Dice, twitch.tv/Dimples and Dice. He is also a member of the Thonic Kids. He has played Theseus in Hades High School, as well as Zane Hellstrom in Camp Half-Blood. Most recently, you can check him out over on Gehenna Gaming with Strixhaven After the Fall, where he played Kumo, the Blade Singer Wizard. Fan favorite, lovely guy. One of my close personal friends. I have sang karaoke with him. I've had his wife roast me on the floor of my hotel room. There's been a lot of conversations that we've had, a lot of opening up. I absolutely adore this guy. I respect this guy. Nobody has more hustle than him. I would like to introduce you to our special guest, Prince, also known as at Dimples and Dice. Prince, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hello. I'm Prince, as you said, also known as Dimples and Dice, pronouns he, him. If you really know me, you might catch me and call me the Moist Heat. But that's only if you're dirty.
We've already got a quick reference to Miss Jackson. If you nasty on the fucking channel right now, it's a small reference I've done in my own head. But thank you for coming on the show, my man.
You know where I was going.
I know exactly where you're going. Look, if the word moist doesn't show up at least 15 times on here, it's going to be considered a failure of an interview.
I will try to be reasonable. I know that is a content warning for a lot of people. The word moist really gets them some kind of way.
Yeah, it might be.
I've gotten blocked on Twitter by a few people for my prolific use of the word moist. And you know what? That's okay.
That's okay. You know what we're gonna do? If I can catch it, we're gonna go ahead. If it starts bothering people, I'm just gonna hit him. Say, yeah, at Dimples and Dice, Prince, also known as Heat, which I've got a little buzzer going off there, a little beeper. So we'll go ahead and if we have to, we're gonna go ahead and censor that for the audience. But it depends on the audience. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing all right. I've survived this past week. I found out that I didn't really find out anything. I guess you put it like this. I have been having some back pain. I don't know what I did. I think this is one of those things that happen when you age. You just get up off a chair and you're like, oh, I don't know what just happened.
There it is.
But the doctor on the phone kept asking me, like when I was doing my telemedicine thing, was like, do you have a fever? And I was like, why the fuck are they asking me if I have a fever? And so I looked this up. Apparently, you can get an abscess on your spine that causes you to have a fever, and it can cause you to have long-term neurological damage because it can go up your spine, through your spinal column, and into your brain. So I'm glad she asked me if I had a fever.
Wild. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Fantastic. God damn it. This is gonna be a good
I'm just
conversation.
saying.
That's true. I did invite you. I like looking at Derek's face when we learn some information about somebody or about a topic because it's just genuine surprise, shock, what have you.
Right.
Or I just learned. It's very much. I just learned something today.
Right. That
Perfect.
sound rough, man.
Perfect. Exactly. Well, yeah. So a big shout out to Dimples. And before we get into questions and everything like that, there's two things I want to talk about. One with our audience. By the way, audience, I've got a bunch of questions from our Patreon members here. A handful of questions from some of them. So that's one way to get questions in for our guests on Late Night Comfort. Also, another way to suggest guests for Late Night Comfort if you hop in our Patreon. So go ahead and check that out. Quick plug right there. And then I've got a question for the man, the myth, the legend with us right now. I dig the shirt. We're getting compliments on the Letterman jacket. I love the chain. Something that I love, though, is the background. I love the background that you are utilizing for this interview.
I got the champs behind me.
That's right, the
I don't care
champs.
if they got stripped or not. They are the champs.
I don't care about no unification fucking tournament going on SmackDown or anything like that. It's okay. It's okay.
You know, once upon a yesterday, this kind of stuff would not have made me as angry as it did. But I saw a bunch of neckbeards on Twitter going off about how Sasha really ain't that good and Naomi is even more trash.
Yo.
And I'm like, do y'all actually watch wrestling? Like,
Right.
For real. Like, do y'all actually watch? Because this is like the only if you're saying you do, then you're racist. Like, that's the only other answer here.
Yeah.
You're racist.
Yep. It was okay when Tony Storm did it. It was okay when Brock Lesnar did it. It was okay when CM Punk did it. And they all have one thing in common.
Punk, Stone Cold, Cody. I'm like, all these white people is fine, but as soon as you're like, you know what? This is bullshit. We ain't gonna stand for it. Y'all like, oh, they not even that good. WWE won't miss them. Wrestling won't miss them. I'm like, the fuck.
I miss them right now. I don't even watch WWE all that much, and I still miss fucking.
Neither do I.
Right. Yeah.
But like that, it was just disrespectful. The stuff that I saw on Twitter was disrespectful, and I wasn't gonna stand for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
Sasha
out.
Banks is a legit superstar, not just in wrestling.
Yep.
And I think Naomi can get there if they actually gave her a fucking chance.
I feel the glow, dog. I've seen both times I went to SmackDown Live, fucking Naomi wrestled, and it was a fucking pleasure. I was like front row. Fucking, she is such an inspiration. She's so good. She's athletic as fuck.
Ridiculous.
Every time she shows up in the Royal Rumble,
give like people like Ricochet and Pac and shit like that. They should be giving Naomi those same kind of props because she does shit that you don't think people should be able to do. Exactly.
I'm also gonna give a heads up, bro. I need you to get off of this keyboard right now. So if you hear like a quick little mewing or a meowing, I've got a brand new kitty at home, and he is very exploratory and rambunctious. So I apologize. I apologize deeply. Shit. All right. So. I also want to remind the audience right now, those that are watching this interview, you can be a part of this interview as well if you make sure to use your channel points and highlight your message right now. And if you have a question, we will get to it. Now, this is not saying that you are going to have your message answered. We might get to it, but if we get a bunch of them, then we might not get to it. That's just how things go around here. I'm going to say that right now. So if nobody feels hurt or cheated out and everything. If I feel like I'm being a little bit too harsh, it's Saturday night. And I ain't got nobody. I just got money and I just got paid. So there we are. This is where I'm feeling. And I've also got a Sam Cook. I don't know. And I've got a rambunctious cat that's all over my desk right now. So here we go. So let's dive into this interview.
I don't understand anything about that.
It's fine. It's okay. That is for my over 50s crowd that are watching the show. I don't think there's anybody that's over 50, but if they are, shout out to you for perhaps getting that reference. Sick. All right. Speaking of getting references, Derrick, are you ready?
I'm in there.
All right. Are you ready?
You know it.
All right. Let's get into it. Prince, who are you and how did you get here?
by accident and because of the Rona. Like honestly, I was actually so start back in 2019. Back in March of 2019, I am, I'm going back to school. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go be a teacher. I'm gonna actually try to do something positive for the universe. It is something I thought about for a while. I'm a historian. I study this shit. I'm like, I'm gonna go to school, get my degree,
Mm-hmm.
do teaching. So we get towards finals. I'm hearing about all this stuff, this virus that came over from China, yada yada yada, people getting sick. And I'm like, when are they gonna start canceling classes? Like, I'm like, or at least telling us we go to do online schooling, and ain't no messages come out. So we get to my midterm for my psych class. I remember this vividly. I was like, motherfuckers today are gonna get sick. Sure shit, I end up getting the Rona right after that. And they had no idea what to do with teaching students who had to do their observation hours and like schools, because schools were like, we don't really like, we're not even trying to really have school right now. I don't know how we're gonna bring another person in
Mm-hmm.
here to come sit in the
Mm-hmm.
classroom. So nothing was organized. And I was like, all right, this is a mess. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna keep trying to do my online work. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then the world started getting worse. They started talking about CRT and shit, and
Yeah.
how
Oh
you can't teach
God.
this in schools. So like this is just the whole thing that culminated to me being like, all right, I'm gonna finish this year out and I'm done.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And I'm like, so what the hell else am I gonna do with my time? My wife's like, well, why don't you try like streaming or something? You seem to like that when you did it before. I'm like, all right, cool. And so I jumped right in. I was like, I'm gonna stream a D&D game. And that actually stuck around. I had a little stream schedule, got a little following, hit affiliate like in a week after I started streaming, and then here I am. I have been on World of Darkness and their games. I've hosted a Vampire the Masquerade game for a Roll20 con, been on panels at PAX, and done all kinds of shit. And that's how I got here.
You were also most recently featured in a Roll20 commercial, like an actual
Yeah.
commercial.
I'm on an actual commercial for Roll20.
It's
Yeah.
wild. Which is those
No,
that
the
don't know
wild
at
thing was
home.
that the wild thing was that like until they put it out on Twitter recently, I never saw the commercial. Like people were just telling me that they saw me on the commercial and ads on YouTube, and my YouTube algorithm is fucked because
Yeah.
I very regularly delete all of my data that Google has from me just to just purge that shit. Like y'all don't
Yeah.
get to keep any of it. And so I'll get all kinds of random ads, but nothing to do with anything I'm interested in. And I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
That's fine.
But
Keep the
I hadn't
robots
actually
guessing.
seen the commercial. So up until like literally like a couple months ago, and the commercial was floating around for I think like 7-8 months or something like that. I just saw it.
That's the first time that I saw it too. And like my YouTube algorithm, it's kind of fucked, but it's not like out there like that. Thank you so much for hitting backspace there. You're doing a great job right now. Y'all should get a cat. It's great. Y'all should try doing important things with a cat. Oh God, perfect. But yeah, like that was the first time I saw it was on Twitter when it got shared finally, and they tagged everybody that was in that. But no, I mean that was like really a highly produced trailer too, which you don't think about with like D&D stuff. Like when we think about highly produced trailers, it's like maybe Critical Role does something like that, maybe WotC, like, but that was like official. And it was great. I love seeing my friend
props
up
to
there.
Carlos for editing that and making it dope. Like we had a good time recording it.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty details, but some of the copy on it was just like really fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
And that's to be expected. But we like did like a improvisational version of that copy, and it came out really well.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up actually getting published for there. So I appreciated that. And it was good. It was fun.
Perfect. I think that's the nature of the beast when it comes to marketing. And it, like especially with like companies like that, because you have somebody in the marketing department that works for ad copy that writes the ad copy, and they write the ad copy, and then it has to go up the food chain, and it has to get approval from the higher ups. The higher ups are like, this isn't what people want to hear at all. This we got to do something, change all of this, and then it gets sent back
Read
down.
that shit like as someone who has to like read it, and you're like, no one talks like this.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
nobody. If someone talked like this at my table, I'd be like, "You
Yeah,
okay, bro? You need some help?"
That-
I'm gonna have to like teach you how to talk to people at a table in a game because that's weird. You making
That's-
people uncomfortable.
that's the pain of like being a writer, like doing like working in corporate settings and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's it's so cool. You're one of my coolest friends, and I'm very appreciative of this time we speak together. I got commercial friends, y'all.
I'm never going to like take that shit to my head, like ever.
Oh yeah,
Because
totally.
it's
Yeah.
just not the kind of person I am. I also am like, I've gotten to meet a lot of really fucking cool people.
Mhm.
So like I can't because there's still people at like heights that I'm still aspiring to get to.
Yeah.
And I don't see myself there yet.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Okay. Next question. Do you like our shirts, by the way? Do you like mine and Derrick's shirt here? Derrick, go ahead and model the shirt for everybody. Those at home don't know this number. This is Wilton Stilt Chamberlain's number.
That's Will Chamberlain.
That's Will Chamberlain.
I don't know what Derek's shirt is though.
It's the Japanese Datsun logo.
Ah, yes. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm trying to sound that out, but my Japanese is super fucking rusty. Like my Japanese is like what, 15 years old now. So I studied
Damn.
Japanese.
Damn.
You don't think about that kind of stuff, but like, when I was in college now is a long time ago. Let's put it like that.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, I don't remember all that.
That's me with my German and my Spanish. My German that I learned in like a school setting is rusty as hell. And then like my Spanish, which I learned in just like an active, like working in kitchens and working in like manual labor jobs and things of that nature that I picked up conversational Spanish. I've been out of that sector for so long that it's just like, I'm like, I'll pick it up. And I got some phrases to a T, like I've got it down. But like some other stuff, I'm like, give me a minute. I'm like, give me a minute. Please give me a minute.
For sure.
Perfect. My French is doo-doo. Like, full stop. My French is doo-doo.
Yeah.
I know that's katakana. Like I get it. I'm just like trying to figure out the words.
Yeah.
It sounds. But you know how I feel about Philly sports.
Philly sports, yeah.
I've expressed it.
Yeah, and this
Philly
is
sport. It's not even Philly sports. It's Philly sports
fans. Yeah.
It's Philly sports fans.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
and I've been in Philly for almost 10 years, and it didn't hit me how much I dislike Philly sports fans until I was at a Eagles Cowboys tailgate. And I obviously you expect some shit when you got a rivalry like that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I dislike Cowboys fans even more, not because they're the same as Eagles fans, but because they're so goddamn delusional.
Yep.
But like these motherfuckers about to jump somebody for wearing a Cowboys jersey, like straight up at a tailgate. I'm like, there are parents and kids right here, y'all. Like, they just chilling. They're like, take that jersey off, or we gonna make you take it off. I'm like, is this a gang shit? Like, what is happening right now?
God.
And legit, like, it got to a point of a fight, and people had to break that shit up. And I was like, y'all doing too much. Y'all need to chill.
Crazy.
And they are proud of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. They're proud of it. They wear that shit like a badge of glory. I'm like, this is why I can't fuck with y'all. Y'all will get me put in jail.
This reminds me of Red Sox fans, Boston Red Sox
Yes.
fans.
Well, Boston fans are the worst fans in the world. I don't give a fuck who says anything about what. I've been to Boston. Y'all got the most racist fans on the fucking United States. Period.
That
I
whole
said
city.
what I said. I'm
That
not
whole
taking it
city.
back. Y'all can be more racist than Texas. That's fucked up.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yep. Well, this whole conversation kind of leads into our first kind of actual real question here, Derrick. Why don't you kick us off with this?
Where are you from?
Me, I am from Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm.
Cleveland. So this goes into my sports thing. Part of the reason why I believe in, being realistic about things and having some humility is because I'm used to losing all the goddamn time. Like being a Cleveland Browns fan, that's my favorite team of all teams. I have lost my team in my lifetime. Watched that team win a Super Bowl. Yeah, there's some trauma there that I'm still trying to deal with.
You had to live through the Johnny football years. No, I get it.
No, I'm not even gonna talk about all the quarterbacks. Like the fact that I am still getting over the fact that we drafted Tim Couch over Ricky Williams. Like it has to be a quarterback. I'm like, but I watched Tim Couch. He's not that good. Donovan McNabb was in that draft, y'all. Like this sticks with me. I remember that draft. I will never get over this. But we got a championship in my lifetime. One of my teams did. And that was my sister laughed at me because my sister was visiting me here in Philly when it happened. And I was literally like cheering in fucking tears. And I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand. It's so good. And I made my way back to Cleveland so I could go to that parade. And that was the most batshit wild stuff ever because I don't know if y'all know about this, but Ohio is known for two things, right? If you look into this, we have the numbers going down recently, but at the time, we had the most white supremacist groups per capita for any state. We have the most guns per person in any state. And we had been the state with the most problems with binge drinking. No one drinks like Ohioans.
That's a fucked up recipe.
Nothing to do there.
Yeah. So you got guns, you got white supremacist groups, and you have alcohol. Bad things happen in places where I won't go. But the alcohol flowed freely that day, and I paid for very little, and I was wasted.
Well, there's people don't realize about Ohio. Y'all got Cleveland and Cincinnati. People don't want to fuck around in Cincinnati.
No.
You don't fuck around.
They
in
had race riots in Cincinnati before I moved there.
Yeah,
that's a real thing that happened.
But most of Ohio is rural as fuck.
Yes,
and there's nothing to do. So you just fucking have bonfires and shit. Go hang out in fucking cornfields or pastures and shit.
And I've done this. I'm not gonna pretend I ain't been I've been in bonfires. I've cow tipped.
Yeah.
I've done some shit you don't expect black people to do.
When in Rome, When in Rome.
Yeah.
Fucking okay. So you're born in Ohio and everything like that.
Yep.
And then you made your way to Philly about 10 years ago, is what you said, around about 10 years ago. So what led
brought me here?
Oh, your wife brought you there? Okay, perfect.
So yeah, there's a story behind that. You've heard
I've heard
the story that I'm not going to tell on the channel.
Yes.
But I met her. We're in a video game community, and we decided for a get together, like people do a meetup. Gen Con was the place to be. Now at the time, I didn't know diddly dicks about tabletop. I had never played D&D. I knew what it was. I wasn't really a big board gamer, none of that. But I was like, fuck it, I'll go. Why not? Indy is not that far from Cleveland. I can take a bus trip and make it there. And then one of my friends was like, just meet me in Columbus and I can get you the rest of the way. I was like, all right, cool. And then I met my wife there. We chatted, we hit it off. I was awkward, but turned out we had a lot of stuff in common. And a little less than a year later, we got married, and I was in Philly.
Fuck yeah! So you start in Cleveland. You start in Ohio, and you meet your wife. You make your way to Philly. You're going to school. Rona happens. You start streaming. So, how do you get from your path from working from doing all this, going to school, and then getting into streaming? I'm assuming you probably started out how most streamers did, with streaming variety content. or video games and stuff like that. How do you get from there to being in a Roll20 commercial? Like, what was that path like? What was that like? You running all these games on like World of Darkness, being included in all these panels. Like, what was the step-by-step progression of that? And you don't have to go into all the nitty-gritty details or give any trade secrets or anything, but like,
Yeah. So like when I started streaming again, almost immediately after that, I started a TTRPG show. I did Acquisitions Inc. Uh, on my channel on Sundays, and
Mhm.
that went for a year and a half or so. And that was wild because I recruited everybody for that game from Reddit. Well, not everybody. A couple of them were my friends from my gaming community, but
yeah,
yeah, the cast that I had for that game was recruited from Reddit. And people were like, you can't find good people on Reddit. And I'm like, no, you just have to define what kind of people you want to find. And
Mhm.
I interviewed everybody that was like actually able to do a stream. Um, until I found people that I was like, I'm comfortable having on my channel.
yeah,
And that was like the thing that got me into more things
Mhm.
because after that, you know, I was studying my craft essentially. I was watching other people who did it.
Mhm.
So I just so happened to be in Critical Barge chat for I think it was like the Black AF Roundtable
Oh yeah,
or one of them, and I met Ivy, who's over on Rolling These 20s with me, and I met
Mhm.
Liz there, and they were talking about like, you know, like CB had mentioned, like if you want to do this thing, you should just do it, just give it a go, and we all like in the chat we were talking about running a vampire game, and we're like, then fuck it, let's do it, and we started a DM thing, and then we were like, we're gonna start a channel and we're gonna do this. And so Rolling These 20s came like right after I got started too. So I'm like running 2 games, Saturdays, Sundays. I'm doing a TTRBC show every week for
Mhm.
almost 2 years. And that just kind of like more and more people got to notice it. I started to do little guest spots, one shots, things of that nature. And then eventually I like, because I was active in a bunch of other people's, you know, streams and stuff like that. I start to network with people, get to know them, talk to them off stream, so on and so forth. And I just got linked up with a bunch of different people. And that's how I ended up there. Like, it was not like I wasn't clout chasing.
Yeah.
That's not my style. I'd never asked people like, hey, put me in this thing or do this thing for me. It was all just like, you know, I know Dimples, he runs games. You
Mhm.
know, you could talk to Prince about running a game on a stream. He might be free for this thing that's going on. And that's kind of how I got brought into stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like the Roll20 thing was like, Carlos just noticed me on Twitter. It was like, you look like you give a shit and you're hustling your ass off.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
And that's an important quantifier to put on your career trajectory and like how you got started, because something like that, because I remember like even before we were on Hades High School together, I've seen you in different things just from where I was, like from a third person, like an outside looking in perspective of you and different stuff, and like seeing like your kind of like shows and everything like that. And like that's something that's very important for people to clarify. And it's not always the case with people, but a lot of the times when it comes to like this ecosystem that we're in, and it's something that we've kind of been kind of touching on with a lot of the guests that we've talked to, especially those that are in the TTRPG sphere. And it is especially true for you that we've noticed that it is your dedication and your skill, your talent, your dedication, and your hard work that you put in that got you to where you are now. And it's probably going to continue carrying you on forward. Because I'm not lying to this, and I'm not blowing smoke up of Prince's ass right now, but like this is the hardest working man in TTRPGs right now. Like, you are on a bunch of shit. You were on a lot of shows. You were running streams. You're doing a lot of stuff out there, and you're busy. You're a busy guy, and you know you also got to fucking make time for yourself on top of all of this.
And that's legit the hard part is
Mhm.
like, I mean, I've been busting my ass literally for like the last 2 years
Mhm.
doing stuff almost every day of the week.
Yeah.
And that that is not what I want for anybody to have to do
Mhm.
to get noticed.
Yeah.
But it certainly felt like that was the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think a lot of people that I've talked to feel like that's the way you have to do it.
Mhm.
Like you have to always be present.
Yeah.
And I've tailed back on a lot of things. I've been
Mhm.
consciously trying to tail back on a lot of things so I can like keep my mental together because it was too much. Like
Yeah.
when you don't have a day off ever, like when you realize you're like, I looked up, you know what? It's been the last 10 weeks. The only time I've had a day off is because someone said they were sick. Not because I said I needed to take a day off.
Yeah.
Because someone else told me they needed to take a day off.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No. It's not
It's not
conducive.
good.
It's not conducive for a healthy mental state or a healthy
Yeah.
like lifestyle and everything like that. But it's the
And so
nature
I'm
of the
trying to tail
beast.
that sort of thing back.
Yeah.
But like I'm still trying to stay busy, and I'm also trying to make sure that like if I say I can't do a thing or someone asks me about a thing, that I'm like boosting somebody else. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I know this other person can't make this thing, but you should talk to this person here,
Mhm.
this person over here,
Mhm.
because I think they might be a really good fit for what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean that's what honestly
That's
how
what
you
happened. That's what people did for me. So
Yeah.
like I'm always trying to pay that forward.
And it's something that a lot of people that they don't kind of realize, and we see it all the time. You and I, especially in this ecosystem, is that there's a lot of people that deserve that recognition, and there's a lot of people that
Yeah.
get it, and there's some of those people that still they hold that ladder in place for other people, that like
Sure.
that rope in place. But there's also some people in this space that pull it up behind them too. And
Yeah.
you gotta and it's very important when you're like I gotta remind y'all that I'm humble, that I'm like that like I all this is because of I'm lucky or whatever, and I also had people that were help hoisting me up because you got to keep yourself like centered and
Yeah,
focused.
like I mean, I got so many people that like helped me get here, like Cypher of Tier, Critical Bard, HTTP, HTT Paladin. Like
Mhm.
I've had a lot of people help me to get to the space that I'm in. Like being on Vancouver by Night has definitely helped me to make a space in the world of darkness and the things that I run over there. Like
Mhm.
they raid into our channel all the time on Saturdays. Like I have people who've helped me get to the places that I am.
Yeah.
D&D Jordan Lee, like
Yeah.
being on Jordan's charity streams. Like it's this is not a thing. Like storytelling, being in D&D, TTRPGs, you're not doing this alone.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're doing actual play shows and stuff like that, you're not doing that alone. Somebody is working with you there. And like I'd be remiss to be like, nah, I just hustled my ass off and ain't nobody helped me get to where I'm at.
Yeah.
That'd be the biggest fucking lie ever.
Yeah.
No, like there, I'm not saying no one has had to do that, but I think now more than ever, people have. It is a community there.
Yeah. 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 Most definitely. Most definitely. Derek, hit us with another question. You got some
Right.
spicy ones.
Nah, I want to go back because you mentioned Rolling D's 20s. I love that name. First off, what do y'all do and what makes y'all so unique?
So here was the big thing with Vampire and Rolling These 20s, right? When you look up Vampire the Masquerade and people were running games of Vampire the Masquerade, say 2 years back, you don't see anybody that looks like us. Like nobody. There was no like, all PLC groups that played Vampire the Masquerade. And I'm like, why? I was like, you telling me black people don't like vampires? We made a vampire in Brooklyn. Eddie Murphy in that shit. Like, come on now. Black people like vampires too. Why is there no shows with us in it? And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like our whole thing is to have an all POC cast, all Ben podcasts every time. And that's not to mean that we won't have guests who are not, but like that is who are going to be a part of this group. And we're going to get talented people who care about what they're doing here and are trying to show people that like there are people playing characters that represent them, because we're playing Vampire the Masquerade, right? Vampire the Masquerade is set in the real world. Like So one of the funniest things I've ever heard about our show was someone DM'd me and said, "Why are there so many black vampires in your show?" And I thought this was the funniest thing ever. I don't know if it was a troll question or a serious question, but our show is set in Philly, right? Like,
Right.
there's a lot of black people in Philly. A lot of black people in Philly. And I'm like, how do you not understand this? But then I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get too hung up on that. The fact of the matter is, now you see there are black people in Philly. There are black vampires in our game. There are Latin vampires in our game. There are Asian vampires in our game. Like, Philly has all of this, so the game should represent that too.
Right.
And it is so easy for people to just be like, well, here's another white character.
Yeah.
Half the time in our game, white characters get roasted by our players. They do. Like a solid 50% of the time, you know, I know my players so well that I know exact kind of characters to push their buttons to make them want to kill them.
That's like watching Philly by Night is been a joy, because not only has it been a breath of fresh air, especially from seeing the greater overall, and I hate to say the word greater overall, but that's just how it is, the World of Darkness community, because it is very fucking mayonnaise up in there. It looks like a Duke's mayonnaise jar for a lot of the part. And you can see that with, and this is not me like taking pot shots or anything like that, but you can see like the type of music that they use in a lot of their stuff. You can see it in the top of their marketing and things of that nature, is that it is aimed more towards a more Eurocentric kind of audience. And you and your players are telling, not only is it just refreshing seeing an all BIMPOC cast on the fucking screen, but you are all telling a very refreshing story too. I'll tell you, there is nothing like Philly by Night when it comes to a World of Darkness stream on there, because of the fucking shenanigans that y'all get into, but also like the character interactions, like how y'all interact with each other, how y'all role play with each other, how y'all support each other and everything like that. I do want to shout out the cast where you got Lonzo, like shout out Lonzo, Mikey Mike, Fair, Ivy, and then Liz as well. Like whole of y'all.
Juice as well.
Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you. Like, props out, like, and like
we've grown
yeah.
since we started. All right, like it was originally just me, Mikey Mike, Liz, and Ivy.
Yeah,
that was like the crew when we first started, and it's grown since then, and it will probably continue to grow, because the truth of the matter is, like, my time is getting to be less and less that I have, right? But like, I'm gonna continue to run, you know, my Saturday show or what have you, but I want to bring other people in for our other shows. I want more stuff to happen here, with more and more diverse casts, like, because that's super fucking important to me. Like, when I ran my first game, I was not like, oh, let me get a bunch of the first people who say they can play with me to run this game. I was like, no, I'm gonna be intentional. I want to meet people who aren't like me. I was like, I don't know a ton of trans people, like, straight up. And I was like, so the only way to do that is to actually talk to trans people. So I did. This is a hint for you people out here. Talk to people who aren't like you. Do the thing. Like, if you try, people know. The thing that bothers people is when you don't give a shit and you try to tokenize them. And I never wanted to do that. So I had a very diverse cast. Like, when I first started that show, changed a little bit. People dropped out, but it was the first show I ever ran, and I've continued to try to improve that, and improve that by talking to people who aren't just like me. I am a cis black dude. Like, I know what I am. Like, I am straight as straight can be. Like, my wife and I have had a discussion about this. She was like, you know, everybody likes this, about to get a little raunchy, but she's like, dudes like to get their dick sucked, right? She was like, if a dude was sucking your dick, would that work for you? And I was like, I would be super attracted. She was like, then you're obviously straight.
Yeah.
She's like, you're obviously straight. Because, like, if you can't enjoy a blowjob because it's a dude, then you're straight.
You're just right. You're just wired that way, homie. You're just wired that way. That's just
And
how
I'm like,
it fucking
you know
works.
what? I'm okay with that. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with other people. Like, but it like I'm conscious of that
Yeah.
when I do stuff. And I can't speak from all the different perspectives. So why not bring those perspectives in with me?
Yeah, exactly. Fact of the matter, couldn't have said it better myself. Like honestly, like fucking if you are not this thing, don't stop being so bummed out that you don't fit into this spot, this position. Support somebody that does. Lift up somebody that does. It's as easy as that. Like
I'm comfortable with my identity. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with my identity. I know dudes do fuck shit all the damn time. Like I grew up in a world of fuck shit. Toxic masculinity is a thing that I am still dealing with to this day. Like, like all those things are part of me and I know it. So why not try to do better?
Yeah, exactly. Ah, amazing.
And I'm in a space that I can. That's the thing. Like it's different when you are having a hard time getting there. I never have to worry about finding a table. I never have to worry about finding players. And I know that not everybody is there. And I don't hold that against people, but I do think you have to try. Because I found people on Reddit to play a game with me that I was able to stream for a year and a half and not get canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to put in the work. It's not that hard. Just put in the work. Just do it. Just do the goddamn thing. So we have questions from our Patreon as well as from those in the chat. So before we move on with some of the questions that me and Derrick have, I'm going to go ahead and ask. This is from our Patreon, and we've got a question from at Critical K on our Patreon, also on Twitter. What is your favorite D&D class to play and to GM?
My favorite class to play. I get to play a lot of different things. I feel like my go-to is Paladin. And I know that can be weird for people because of religious connotation and such. But I think of Paladins as a protector for a group, right? I'm standing in battle to hold it down for my people and hope that they can do the things they need to do to, finish the battle. And if something goes wrong, I can help them out too. But that's the way I think about the class. But like up until I started actually playing D&D, I was a rogue and everything. My first campaign, I was a rogue. So that's like Mariah Carey, Always Be My Baby kind of thing. But I in the years since, that was back in 2016, I've only played a rogue once, and I'm playing that now. And it's in a game that's not on stream.
There you go. There you go. Straight from His Royal Highness's lips to your ears at Critical K. Speaking of ears, at Miss Petty Dreadful asks in the chat, tell the people about how you abuse Zoom chat during actual plays.
Okay. Listen. I don't think of myself as comedian, but I do think I have excellent comic timing.
Okay. Yeah.
So one of my skills is that I actually really listen hard to things that are going on. This has helped me to run games, be a good GM, yada, yada, yada. But it also helps me to try to break players in the middle of games. And in Zoom chats, I will make a pun or an innuendo out of basically anything that I feel is appropriate and I think it might break a player.
Yeah.
And I will do it just in the middle of Zoom chat. I'm just like, and I'll sit back and I'll wait. And then someone will see it and they'll go. And that is when that is when I feel like my power level is starting to go up. That is when I'm starting to go into my Super Saiyan transformation.
I will say I have witnessed this in real time. Not only has it happened to me as a player in the game, but also as a game master as well, running the game. Because not only is he quick with the jokes, but also with linking a song on Spotify. And as you all know, when you link a song on Spotify in a Zoom chat, you don't get a thumbnail or a description of what the song is. It's just a Spotify link. So you click on it, and then it pops up on Spotify, and you read the title, and it's playing through your ears, and you're like, God damn it. You're always quick with it, and it's always, even if the title's not on point, the theme of it's on point. And you've broken me multiple times with it. And I wouldn't have Prince in games if I wasn't ready for that, if I didn't expect that.
I warn people. This is the thing that I actually warn people about. When you start a new game with me, if we're in a one shot, whatever, I'm like, listen, I'm going to try to break you in the Zoom chat. I'm going to make puns. I'm going to link songs. You're going to link them. You're going to hear a lyric, and you're going to know exactly what I was thinking when I posted it. And you're going to laugh. I might make you cry laugh at some point. You're going to have to mute your mic. And I'm going to become more and more powerful every time this happens.
I've started, like, it happened in Camp Half-Blood when I was running the game, where to help combat that in my own internal monologue, and like my own internal self, because we had a collaborative playlist that was called Half-Blood Vibes. You can fucking find it on Spotify right now if you want to. Go watch Camp Half-Blood. But you would share songs in the Spotify chat that you were listening to, stuff that was going through your personal, and like your and Zane's like personal playlist, and I would just take those songs and add it to our Half-Blood Vibes fucking like chat, like all these songs. I was like, but yeah, you shared Overnight Celebrity by Twister one time, and I was just like, that's going on the playlist. I was like, we're in Chicago, like that's going on the playlist. Like there we go, it's going on the playlist. Perfect. Well, thank you for those questions at Miss Penny Dreadful. And also remember, if you're watching this, you can also ask questions as well. Derek's probably got another one, but I've got a question for you before, and it kind of ties into all this stuff. So we've talked about like your a little bit vaguely about your journey and everything like that. So how was your upbringing growing up, and how has it shaped you into who you are now, and how you run games, and how you like go about your daily life? And like you can be vague about it, you can be a little bit specific, like this kind of thing, but like talking about like home life, family, and you like, you know, also you gotta keep in mind fucking not doxing yourself or anything like that. But yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty open about shit. So this is not too bad for me. So I was a mega nerd as a kid, and you know, being a mega nerd in the early 90s was not a good look. I got clowned all the time. I was also very short and very fat. So I was even more inclined to embrace my mega nerddom because that was all I had. And you know, my uncle got me like a set of comic books for Christmas / my birthday, because my birthday is the day after Christmas. So all of my birthday gifts were Christmas gifts too. But once I got into comic books, that really like took me down the rabbit hole of like a bunch of cool nerdy shit that I thought, like, I went from comic books to, you know, Goosebumps to Lord of the Rings. Like I was like, oh, these little punk ass 60-page books ain't doing it for me. I need something with some depth. And here I am at like 8 years old reading through like full-on novels. And that was the way I was. So all of that informed me. And then by the time I got to like high school, I had a growth spurt. I was like, I started working out. I got in football player shape, but I was still a mega nerd. I'm over here like, I was invited to go to a Quake tournament out in San Francisco for Quake 2 with the prize money of $3,000. This was the beginning of esports back in those days. I was top 100 ladder for StarCraft Brute War multiple times. I got taught how to play Zerg by J-Dong. Look him up. He's one of the best Zerg players ever. So I've always been able to network and talk to people, even if I couldn't talk to people who were around me because they didn't get it. Like, I was in the hood. Like, nobody had computers. Earthlink had to come out and send someone to our neighborhood to install all this stuff because my dad bitched about it until someone actually did it. Now, my family did not support my nerddom. whatsoever.
Mhm.
When I got invited to go to do the Quake tournament, they told me they will pay for me to come out there. They will fly me to San Francisco, pay for my room and board so I could play, because again, this was like the early aughts of esports.
Mhm.
And they wanted kids to really get into it so
Yeah.
they can keep them going for forever.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it. I gave up on it. I gave up on a lot of nerdy shit after that. But I came back. And when I came back, I was an adult and I didn't give a shit about anything that anybody had to say about me at that point. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of how I ended up where I am now, because I am confident in myself and the things that I enjoy. And I don't think too much about how people thought of nerds. Now being a nerd is in.
Yeah.
Which is still a weird thing to wrap my mind around given my childhood. Like that is still very difficult, because like all of that stuff, all the stuff that people do now, like cosplaying, oh, you can't only be you cannot only be Spider-Man on Halloween, bruh. Not every day. Now
Yeah.
people are like, be your best self. You want to be Spider-Man, you can be Spider-Man all the goddamn time. I'm
Yeah.
like, why couldn't I be alive in this generation? Oh, because the earth is melting and I'll probably be fucked. So, you know, you win some, you lose some.
Right.
I wonder if there's like a direct correlation between the earth melting and everything going to shit and people stopped giving a shit about being a nerd. Like stopped giving a shit about like how it looked and stuff like that. And I know it also came to the zeitgeist with like Iron Man hitting the cinemas, and then like well you see it with D&D with Stranger Things popularizing it and everything like that. Like
Now,
I,
you know, like props to my family. We
Mhm.
were super fucking poor, right?
yeah.
But my dad did think that it was super important that like we had computers, internet access, like throughout my whole childhood. I was a homeschool kid. So
Yeah.
like I had a lot of free time on my hands because I am smart. I'm like, I'm not gonna tiptoe around it. I'm
Yeah.
pretty fucking smart dude. When I got to, you know, got out of homeschooling, I started off in high school,
Mhm.
and I basically had everything that I needed to get out of high school when I started. They helped me from that because of old school bullshit rules for how test taking worked and what
Mhm.
grades they could put you in and so on and so forth. But I came into high school and was able to pass all of the tests, everything like straight up from the start. Unfortunately, I wasn't very informed about college because none of my family had been to college at that point.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, a lot of things, you know, looking back at it, if I knew now, but even though my family wasn't super supportive of my nerddom, they
Mhm.
were supportive of me learning like
Yeah.
everything that I could. And so that did help me get here.
Mhm. That's like something that I really, and we'll talk about the Phonic kids in here in a little bit, but it's something that I've recognized about every single one of us is that we are well read. We are very like literate people. We are also very like informed people. And we also love knowledge. Like in like whether it is like and all of our various different like upbringings and stuff like that. Like we all have like interests that are off the wall. Just like the show that we're recording together right now for Table Goth. Like
Yeah.
sitting and talking about conversations and like having conversations with y'all about just like just the most off the wall shit and just being like this is
Don't
not
let me
the
fall down the history rabbit hole.
yeah
I had Encyclopedia Britannicas in my house, and I used to
Mhm.
read them shits for fun. Like I used to read those for fun. Like people were like, "Well, you don't remember all the dates." I was like, "The dates don't matter. The timelines around the time, the exact dates. I don't give a shit about that." Like, but knowing history, when things happened and why they're important today, matters.
yeah
That's why I was so baffled when people learned about what happened, you know, to Black Wall Street from fucking HBO show,
Yeah.
like the Watchmen show. I was like, wait, y'all just hearing about this? They ain't teach y'all this shit? No, they don't teach this in schools. Now I'm just
Oh
like,
yeah, nah.
schools are
Public
fucked.
school garbage. Public school.
I was like, schools are fucked. What do you learn? What do you learn about history? That
Mitochondria.
Columbus sailed here and then saved the world? Like, is that what
Mhm.
you've learned?
and they were all friends. That's just they were all friends. And the
I was like,
mitochondria is the
George
powerhouse of the
Washington
cell.
got a shitload of people killed.
Mm-hmm.
shitload of them, because he was a brash fucking like 20 something. It's like, do y'all even learn about that?
Nah, you get the Little Tykes version of history.
I know, it's so fucked up. And this is why I was going back to school to teach history, but now they're saying you can't teach history.
Right.
Like,
Because
they're like, you can't teach history. There's so like, this baffled me, and I'm not trying to derail, but this baffled me so much the other day.
this is about you. Derail all you want.
I saw a tweet about, I think it was in Texas. They were talking about how they cannot actually talk about the shooting that happened in Buffalo, because they have to present it from both sides.
Yep.
They have to present it as a both side stories. So like, the fucked up part was like, so this person killed a bunch of black people because he's racist and he doesn't like black people. But, you know, from his perspective, he's protecting his people and his identity. And this is how you have to teach this shit.
Because if you try to frame it as how it actually is, that's considered CRT. That's considered, which is a no-fly zone.
It's the most baffling shit. It was Florida, by the way.
Florida.
Of course, Florida.
Fucking.
But like,
Ron
imagine
DeSantis.
teaching about slavery from that perspective.
Oh my god.
Well, these people really, really needed to, you know, establish themselves in a country, and the cheapest labor they could find was other people. And if you use them without having to pay them, imagine how much money you could make if you didn't have to pay your employees.
Oh my god.
Like, imagine trying to explain slavery. Like,
That's like crazy. We get campaign ads about that shit here though.
I believe you. This is so, like, it is so incredibly frustrating to me, because I don't know what we actually can do about it.
Right.
Like, that's the fucked up part. Like, I don't know what I can do about this. And it's not as big of a problem in Pennsylvania yet, but it probably will be.
Yeah.
You know, all it takes is one Senate seat flipping, or the governor going Republican. Like, that's all it takes. And it's all fucked. Like, the whole thing just goes down one person.
We were talking about this the other night. We were talking about this fucking 2 nights ago, where it's like y'all in Pennsylvania are a battleground for politics.
Yeah. My home used to, like, Ohio used to be a battleground. It's not
a battleground state. Yeah, it's not anymore. Yeah. But like
gerrymandering, fuck that.
Oh
honestly.
God. But here in Alabama, it has always been a red state for as far as I can remember. From as long as I've lived here.
As long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
And I'm closing in on what, 38 this year now?
Yeah. So me and Derek are fucking used to uphill battles. We're fucking like even in our own city, which prides itself on being progressive and everything. We've got a moderate mayor. We've got all of our surrounding suburbs have active like white supremacists in like mayoral seats and everything like that. So it's like no, we understand. We get it. And it's like from 2 different perspectives. Because it's like why I so proudly display like pride flags in my windows and shit like that.
Sure.
It's because I've got to I've got to let fucking people know. And that's it's like that's the thing is like if I go out, you know, outside of a certain like city zone, just like with Derek, if he goes outside of a certain city limit, it's fucking there's targets on our back immediately. Yeah. But at least we know that. It's not through like voting like, well, you know, this 4 years maybe we can go to, you know.
You know how like and this is along the same lines, you know how I'm sure Derek knows, you know, you get the talk. And I'm not talking about sex. You get the talk about the fact that you're black and you have to live in a world that. Well, like, it was doubly bad for me because my family was Nation of Islam, right? My little sisters walk around with scarves. My mom's walk around with scarves. 9/11 came about, right? Like, and that is forever ingrained in my head because it changed so much that people didn't actually see. Like, being a Muslim in that time, just someone seeing my name, for example, when I was applying for jobs, you know, trying to get my little part-timer as a, you know, 15, 16-year-old, I couldn't find jobs. And I couldn't figure out why until it dawned on me. I'm Amir Hamza on my application. So, you know, I did the thing that that people learned about later on. I started putting other names on there. I am David Barry. Callbacks immediately. Amazing how that changed. And that, like, I'll never forget the first time I went to fly. That was the experience that really fucked me up. When they took my shoes off, took my belt off, made me go into the other room, took my pants off, searched me up and down. Oh, your name popped up on a list. Word?
It's my first time flying, dog.
My first time ever flying. It's the wildest shit. And like that's the stuff that people don't see. Like these things, when y'all say and vote for these awful things, they have consequences on people that stick with them forever. Not just like in the moment. This is the kind of stuff that people won't forget for the rest of their lives.
Right.
This is why people leave places. This is why, people don't stay to fight in some of these rural counties because they can't. Not because they don't want to. Their mental cannot take. I could not go back to the hood. I can't. People say, well, you should go back to the hood, invest in your communities. I can't. My mental won't take it. So like,
it drains you so fucking much because you want to see like change and you wanna do better, but like every time you feel like you fucking take a step forward, there's somebody pushing you 15 steps back, or there's a Patriot Act or a type of like some kind of policy that's pushing you 15 steps back, and it's
I'm
fucking.
sorry, chat. This is not the place y'all probably thought you were going to be, but this is real.
It's late night comfort. Yeah, like anything goes on here. This is your show, dog. So like the way the conversation goes, this is what I live for, because like we've got like a time here and we can talk about whatever the fuck ever.
Yeah, you asked me about where I am, where I came from. This is it. Like this is how I got here.
It's about the person, and that's part of the person.
Yeah, it comes with the fucking territory. Like, and that's the thing is like you think about like, because I think about like what changed about with me, and I am very lucky. I'm very privileged, as we all know. You can tell just by looking at me. Like the only things that affected me when fucking 9/11 happened was stuff that happening at school. My dad lost his job, and he had to do like something else. And then Jimmy Eat World didn't get to call their album Bleed American. They had to call it, Jimmy Eat World. That's like the stuff that affected me the most. Like there was no like long ranging.
They took the Twin Towers out of Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, see that's like the thing that affect I didn't have to worry about going to the fucking grocery store or anything like that. Like they didn't fucking.
Yeah, my if y'all remember this, I think it was a Blueprint Jay-Z dropped on that same day, right?
Yep.
I could not go get my CD because everywhere shut down. Everybody was too paranoid. Everything was shut down.
Yeah.
So I remember all of this because it was like all part of that day. Like everybody is just like lost, and it's hard to imagine where people's minds were. But you gotta like really think about this. Imagine being Muslim, right? And you see, a terrorist attack happens. It doesn't matter who it's from. You just see a terrorist attack happen, and imagine how that makes you feel.
Right.
Should I go outside? Should I let people know what my name is? Like, and until they find out, oh, it wasn't one of you, then you're like, oh, and you breathe a sigh of relief, even though it's fucked up.
Yeah. That's
the thing. And that messes you up too. Because you're like, oh, I'm lucky it wasn't one of us. Like even if that's not one of us, but like someone to relate to me, because anytime that I do something or someone else does something that has my religion,
did something.
Everybody has to blame for it. Like,
yeah.
I've had friends literally people I've known most of my life be like, well, y'all need your leaders to go and say, call this shit out. And I'm just like,
it don't work like that.
I'm like, Imagine every time a white person shot somebody, we were like, you know what? We need white community leaders to really speak out against white on white crime. Y'all be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? We don't have the privilege to not do this, though. That's the thing. Someone has to come out and say something because we're a part of it. And that was hard because watching the 9/11 thing and being like, how is this going to affect me and my family is a real thing that a lot of Muslim families had to deal with.
Yeah.
And ever since then, you think about it every single time. And it's fucked up. You feel guilt because you feel that way. and your first thought is not what about the victims. Your first thought is like, what happens to me now?
Yeah.
And that's how people work. It's not selfish. People will say
It's
they're
not.
selfish.
That's survival.
But it's
Right.
survival, exactly. And I can't help but remember that tied to that moment.
Mhm.
Like,
Fucking A.
sorry.
That's like no, you're good. And honestly, like I'm sure I hope that everybody watching this, like either right now or in the future, can fucking either, if they don't already know, learn something from it or agree with it and everything like that. And if you don't, then there's Gehenna Gaming has Alien running right now. You can go watch Gehenna Gaming if this isn't like, like there you go. Like there's options. It's twitch.tv.
Damn.
Like Ms. Kiff is raiding Twitch chat rooms right now, so go watch Ms. Kiff or something. I don't know, but this is why I like this is why I wanted to do this show. This is like also because I wanted to have multiple different kind of people comment on here and talk about different things and talk about different topics and things that pertain differently to them. We had fucking Nick on the first episode talking about like his Monster Hearts game, his all POC Monster Hearts game. But then we also talked about being Chinese and Cuban, him growing up, and then him being whitewashed and that kind of stuff like that. And then like we've had multiple other people. We've had King LJ come on over here and talk and stuff like that. Like it needs to be talked about. And there's a bunch of other people that talk about it, but it's really important for people that are in this ecosystem, especially in the TTRPG space and the streaming space, to know exactly that there are people that dealt with this shit for real, that you watch or you've played games with. It's fucking important. Like, you gotta know what's up with
why we don't want to deal with racism in our D&D games or whatever. Like,
gotta deal with that shit every damn day.
Every goddamn day. I have to walk down the street and I promise you, if you are a brown person, especially a brown dude, you have seen a white woman cross the street because you were coming their way.
Yeah.
Like or that elevator, the clutching the person off in the corner thing. It's not, and I promise you, it could be partially because you're a dude, but it's good chance a couple of times it's because you're brown.
Yeah. God. Whew. All right.
Fucked up. And
it's fucked up.
You gotta deal with it. You just gotta keep on trucking, because if you let it weigh you down, you will never get anything done. You're
never gonna fucking climb out of that slump. You're not gonna fucking push forward and stuff like that. That's one of, like, when watching interviews or watching any kind of coverage about anything that happens surrounding this and happening around like communities, especially Muslim and Black communities, and the question of like, how do you go on? How do you do this? It's like, well, fucking nobody's gonna fucking help me, dog. Like, nobody, like,
what are you supposed to
we
do?
have to fucking practically
die?
beg on Twitter to get a fucking holiday around here, or a fucking month, Like, heaven forbid fucking Twitch does anything about it. Fuck. The guy streamed it on Twitch. You know what I'm talking about. The guy streamed it on Twitch.
Right.
Didn't say shit about it. Said nothing.
Twitch ain't saying shit.
Disney said something about it before Twitch. Like, like, it didn't even have, fucking. Oh, god damn it. Derek, you got any questions?
All right. Speaking of survival, what's the most dangerous animal you can take in a fight?
Most dangerous animal I can take in a fight. So I'm smart, right? Like, I don't like to punch above my weight class. Sometimes it's better to just cut your losses. So I'm probably not taking on anything bigger than like a house cat, because like dogs got jaws, and I'm getting older. They're faster than me in most cases. So I'm not gonna fuck around and find out. I will hide in the house. I will grab a stick. I will throw some scrub in front of me. Like, you younger, you could probably get their attention. But yeah, you're not getting me past in a big fat cat. Like, that's about the worst I'm gonna deal with. Because I had to take on a Rottweiler straight head up, and that was not a good time, because I was scared shitless. I literally pissed my pants. I'm not scared to say it. I punched that Rottweiler in the nose, and that was pure luck, because a half inch down, I'd have got my arm chewed off. But I was having a bad day. Some kid tried to jump me and take my bike, and this dog was fucking with me. I jumped off the bike, and I was just like, let's do it. And I will never do something that stupid again.
Yeah.
And I was me at 13 years old. I am 37 now. I have not done anything that stupid since.
Fucking, I'm country. I'm podunk as fuck. I was born in Kentucky, lived in West Virginia for a long time, lived in Georgia, Tennessee, New Orleans, and here in Alabama. And I think the scariest thing that's ever happened to me was I had to fight a coyote. I thought it was a dog. I thought it was a dog chasing after me.
I was just about to bring up a story about coyotes. I thought so. I used to work the 4 a.m. to 1 a.m. shift at Home Depot doing pricing. That's when you do your new price labels or whatever.
Yeah.
My house was like a 10-minute walk from this Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, just waking up, got my sleep goggles on, listening to music in my headphones. I'm walking down the street. I see someone's trash can. I'm like, oh, some raccoons have gotten this people's trash can. I walk a little closer. I'm like, there's some big ass raccoons. I walk a little closer. I'm like, why do they look like dogs? I walk a little closer. I'm like, nope. Fuck this. There's 4 coyotes in this trash can. So me being the smart ass that I am, I'm backing off. They not fucking with me. I'm not fucking with them. But I'm Googling the whole time. Do coyotes live in Ohio? In Cleveland area? Yes, they have migrated to our area. The woods in that particular area of town are where they're most located at. I was like, oh shit. So any night that I go walking to work, I can run into coyotes. Don't like that at all.
That's coyote, and that's the thing that you gotta worry about coyotes. Like, one by itself, vicious, you're gonna get fucked up, but you can probably take it. Pack of them, 4 of them, you're fucked.
I could probably take a single coyote in a desperate situation. But 4 coyotes, nah.
That's like Velociraptor's tactics right there.
Yeah, that I would have been fucked up. They gave me a look like, you come near this trash can and we gonna fuck your day up. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate the warning. I'm gonna go this way. I was late to work. I got rolled up that night. I remember it vividly. And I told my boss there was coyotes. And he was like, what? I showed him a picture. He's like, holy shit. I still got to write you up. But holy shit.
Fucking. That's fucked up. Here you go. That's fucked up. Here you go. God damn it. Oh, me working at Journey's shoe store. I once got robbed when I assistant managed a fucking shoe store. I got robbed going into a shift. Still got rode up. It's fucking wild.
What Journeys you work at?
It was Journeys in Huntsville, but it was at the Parkway Place Mall. Shout out Kevin, you're a fucking bitch.
Actually, I've been in that Journeys before.
Yeah,
I was fucked up that day. I went in there too. Yeah,
we had yellow.
I don't know.
Probably kid that looked like Mac Miller. It's me.
I don't know. This was like 2012, maybe.
Oh, that was before my time. That was like that was like a year before my time. I was there 2013 through 2015.
You're a little younger than me. I also
That's how I met Yellow Wolf. That's how I met All American Rejects. That's how I met Real Big Fish. And 2 of those bands follow me on Twitter, and it's never not weird, especially when they randomly like something. Fucking goddamn it. Derek, fucking. Okay, so you just asked a question. Let's go ahead and get another Patreon question, and then I've got some more doozies here. This one comes from Kat. Kat, which is at Dead and Glow on Twitter, one of our Patreon supporters. And this pertains to the game that you are on over at the Amphitheater, Eulalia, which is run by Duval. Gotta give it. Duval. So top 3 favorite Redwall books.
Here's the thing. I've not actually read a Redwall book. I've read the first book so far. It's the only thing I've read in Redwall.
J'accuse.
I watched several episodes on YouTube though, because the cartoon is actually able to be watched in full over on YouTube. So I watched maybe like 7 or 8 YouTube episodes, but no, I had not. Honestly, my wife has brought up Redwall to me on multiple occasions before this, and I was like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. I was like, is this like furry dream thing that you were telling me about? Like, this is a thing that you're into, that you're trying to get me into, because I'm not really for it.
Fucking goddamn it. So as you know, like a cat, I got you. So my top 3 favorite books are the original Redwall, and then Lord Brocktree, and then Outcast of Redwall. Those are my 3 favorites right there. I'll give it a little,
say this,
little throw
you know,
something.
like getting because I did do a little research. I was like, let me go hit up the Redwall wiki, start
Yeah.
learning about some of the big characters in here. That dude who wrote Redwall was on some George R. R. Martin shit. He does not give a fuck about killing characters off.
No.
Like, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, for a kid book, motherfuckers is dying left and right.
Yeah. And
Like-
that was like the benefit of the series too. He's written like there's like fucking close to like 30 of them, I think.
What?
Like
I don't
maybe
even know what this franchise is, but what?
Redwall.
This is the same way I was. I was
so
like, I didn't catch this when I was a kid.
Redwall's written by Brian Jacques, and it is a fucking, and then fucking drag me in the comments for fucking get in the comments if I mispronounce his last name. It looks like Jacques. Brian Jacques is Redwall series. It is a fantasy series. It's like a YA fantasy series, children fantasy series, but the main characters are animals. And like, so you have like a lot of the main characters are like mice, badgers, like rats, things of that nature, like rodents primarily. But like, there's also like crows and there's rabbits and things of that nature. But there's like,
I'm playing otter.
yeah, like there's otters and all this stuff like that, and there's all like lore reasons for like these different species of animals and like kind of where they like ingratiate themselves and how they interact. But it centers around like this abbey, and that's kind of like that's like the main character is this location. And it talks about the different people that have come through. You're talking about like Marl Fox and like Madameo, fucking Mariel of Redwall, like all these different characters. And like it's definitely been up. It's like divided through like predator and prey type of dynamics as well. And the dude, like you said, George R. R. Martin shit, fucking kills them off. Just like to like, even if it doesn't serve the story, somebody will just get bodied like out of nowhere. The Redwall books, I think, other than Series of Unfortunate Events, that was like my first experience with like death in books. It was wild. What were you saying, Prince?
Yeah, I discovered Stephen King when I was like 10. So, you know, I was in a weird space.
My aunt had a Christine book, and I just grabbed that. It was like, it's
Oh,
a car.
Mine was
See, that was my
Cujo.
problem. My problem was I was always ready to read whatever.
Right.
And so I didn't know when I was stepping into danger.
Yeah.
And you know, a couple of times, like when I was at my librarian was dope when I was a kid. Like my librarian was super dope. Like she ordered, and I know this makes people feel some kind of way today, but like at the time, Harry Potter was hot shit over in the UK, but it hadn't got over to the US yet.
Yeah.
And she ordered the UK book to come to the library for me because she was like, you like this. She like used to give me all kind of like history books, biographies and stuff that I like. But sometimes I come to her with some wild shit. Like when I came up to her with it, she was like,
maybe hold off on that
like,
one slice.
I was like, she was like, I don't know if this is good for you. I was like, but I'm gonna read it anyway. She's like, I know. I'm just telling you. I've heard you say this before. You don't like clowns. This is all about a clown. And there's something really fucked that happens at the end of the book. She didn't say it in that exact words, but so many words she said that. And I was like, oh. And then I saw the fuck thing. I was like, oh, this is really fucked. Like this is more fucked than the clown thing.
Yep. Yeah, and we all know what you're talking about.
In the movies,
yeah.
So.
Yep. That's there's something me, you, and Derek all kind of had like crossovers, like intersections in our lives growing up where things happen. My first introduction to Stephen King was like around that age. I was like around 10 and a half, 11. My first book was Cujo though. And that was when like librarian recommended it to me and said, read this. And I was like, cause I was like reading like Goosebumps in like Fear Street and all that stuff. And I was like, this is kid shit. And like, and they're like, okay, well, don't cuss. You're in a library. Also, if you think you're grown enough, then go ahead and read Cujo because like that Cujo's fucked up, but it's not like,
oh yeah,
it's not the most fucked up Stephen King that you can get into. And so it was like kind of tame.
I thought I was cool because I saw Pet Cemetery. I actually enjoyed that movie at the time.
Pet Cemetery rocks.
So, I'm thinking, like, I was a kid who was into horror movies. I was like, all right, this book could be good. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. There was too much fuck shit that happened in it. I'm glad the movies are better. I think the movies are better than the book. Now
Yeah.
they did the remakes of them.
Yeah.
Don't read it. Like, especially you got some trauma and you just don't read it. I would just say that, just like that.
I've got a lot of like first edition Stephen King books because Stephen King was so important to me growing up. But I think the thing with like having Stephen King as being important, or Stephen King, like growing up Stephen King, being a fan with Stephen King, is that you have a realization that Stephen King is not a great writer. Stephen King is a great idea guy. Stephen King, and he does characters really well, unless they're women. And like but like he's a really good concept guy. Motherfucker can't do. The joke is he can't do endings for shit. And like there's some endings that he sticks really well, and there's some that he doesn't. And the Dark Tower will always be one of my favorite like high fantasy fucking series of all time.
Absolutely. We talked about this.
Yeah.
You were doing your Sunday show. Like Dark Tower is one of my favorites. I even like the ending, which was probably why I like the Mass Effect 3 ending.
Yeah.
Because like it's really in the same
similar.
vein.
Yeah. Similar vein.
The same vein.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to know more about how much me and Prince love the Dark Tower, then you should go ahead and join our Patreon. If you hit !Patreon, then you can go ahead and join in. You might hear some things that might be coming to a head. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about. We're also completely revamping our Patreon, so get tuned for the updates about that. Fucking okay, great. All right, sick. We've got a bunch of questions that I want to ask and everything like that. So I've got one for you here. Desert Island top 3 albums.
What's that?
Desert Island top 3 albums. You have crashed on a deserted island, and you have 3 albums that you can listen to. What are your top 3?
All right, I know the one that is number 1 for me because it has been years since it came out, and I constantly come back to it. It's Good Kid, Mad City. That will probably be one of my favorite albums all time, forever. Because the story that is told in that feels very personal in a lot of ways. Like almost everything that happens, even someone dying, feels very relatable, which is fucked up to say, but it's true because I grew up in the hood, and that's the kind of shit you dealt with.
Yeah.
Damn.
God, that album's so fucking good.
This is actually kind of hard. I think Michael Jackson's Thriller will always be on the list for me. That was formative to my childhood. Shit. I'm trying to think. Luther Vandross, Never Too Much. That's my first. That's my first. Like, just pops into my head when I'm thinking of another album to go on this list. Luther Vandross, Never Too Much is. I have too many. This is the problem that I have. I have too many, but so I just went with the first one I could think of there.
That surprised me. Though Never Too Much with Luther Vandross is a classic. It's fucking certified.
Luther Vandross is my favorite male artist of all time.
God, he's so good. He's so fucking good. See, that surprised me though, because
people have forgot about Luther these days. I think, people don't understand how fucking amazing he was, and how much iconic shit he did. Like, go back and watch a video of Luther and Whitney Houston on stage together and watch them go at each other. And you just see that shit and you're like, oh, these are this is some amazing shit that we don't appreciate in the time.
Yeah.
But like, looking back at it, it will always be like one of those moments that people will not appreciate until they really give it that once over. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We're never going to get people just like them again.
Yeah.
And they're on stage together.
Yeah.
Just like one-upping each other. Like
real life Super Saiyan battle type shit.
Yeah.
He was also
that's like that's what it was like.
He was also so into the zeitgeist that he was in a very important part of Disney movies. The Disney Renaissance era is very important for music because they would utilize R&B and hip hop and soul artists to sing the ending credits. Like they would do the covers of the songs, and it was like him and Peebo Bryce and fucking Whitney Celine, like all these different people like that. These big time singers, is like that's formative childhood shit right there. Also, if I'm ever at a bar or I'm at a karaoke or I'm at a party and I hear bum 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 bum, I'm telling, I'm going to the dance floor. If there's not a dance floor, I'm making one. I'm telling people, shut the fuck up. I'm like, hold that thought, shut the fuck up. It's happening. Like that song, Never Too Much. The single's Never Too Much from the album Never Too Much is one of the greatest songs of all time.
Yes,
but like there's bangers on that album.
Yeah,
like Never Too Much. Don't you know that? You Stopped Loving Me. A House Is Not a Home.
A House Is Not a Home. Yep. God.
Like that is like a heartbreak fucking anthem right there.
So your list kind of surprised me because there was one album in particular that I thought might be on there, and it was kind of a tie, but it's not on there, and it surprised me. It was either Aaliyah's self-titled Aaliyah from 2001 or One in a Million. Because those are both like two of like my fucking favorite.
Aaliyah is over 1 in a million for me, but just barely. Just barely. Well, that's 1 in a Million doesn't have "I Care for You" on it, so exactly.
Yeah.
You nailed it in one because that is exactly where I'm at.
I care for you. I care for. If you have not listened to Aaliyah, go to Spotify. Go ahead and save it, and then come back to this fucking interview. Derek, hit us with another question, please, sir.
Cool. Let's go with favorite comic book series that you don't think enough people read.
Ooh. I mean, there's two really, and they're super fucking popular, so it's still hard for me to say they're not enough people read, but not enough people have read Saga.
Fucking man, it's just so good. It's so good.
Saga. Like I fucking read Saga. Period. And I have a love for Fables. I absolutely loved Fables. I love the turning, the whole idea of what a fairy tale character is on its head and giving depth to those characters that I never thought I'd see. Now we've talked about this, the Zionistic shit that's in there, but overall, I think they did a wonderful job with that series, and it is well worth reading. But Saga was life-changing shit for me. Like, and I've been a comic reader all my life. Saga is one of those things I will absolutely recommend to anyone every time they ask me about a comic book. Like, if you want to read some comic book shit that has like depth and like you think of comics as like, you know, second tier to novels or some shit, this will change your mind.
Yeah. Saga.
And the people that have actually took the time to read Saga and I've said that too, they're like, oh yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right. Fuck.
Somebody, my tattoo artist, one of my tattoo artists who's an apprentice over at the shop that is also a comic book shop, works at a comic book shop. Our homie doesn't fucking, mine and Derek's homie does not read comics at all. I forced her.
It's wild.
We did a book swap, and she like gave me all 4 of the fucking Twilight novels that I'm gonna read through. We're gonna do a fucking book club. I'm gonna fucking read all the Twilight novels. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna critically read them and stuff like that. And I said, cool, you're gonna give me all 4 Twilights. Well, here's Saga issue 1, like volume 1, trade paperback. I've got 9 more volumes on the shelf. Go ahead and read it. If you don't like it, I'm not gonna push it. But I'm going to get you into comic books, and it's gonna be with that series. That series, honestly, if you
turned my ex into an addict of Saga.
Yep.
like
it's good.
It's that good. I mean, the other one I would say that kind of sticks with me even to today, though looking back at it now, the aging of it is not as good, is Sandman. And mostly Sandman's aging is not because of any particular subject matter, but the art and the way characters are portrayed, like visually.
Yeah.
It's racist as fuck in a lot of parts. I don't know how else to put it. But it is a sign of the time. But the stories themselves, they hold up.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're getting a Sandman TV series and shit like that. But like, if you can
Help
go back
update
and
it.
read through Sandman,
Mhm.
Yeah.
fucking amazing. And like when Sandman came out, I was a kid. I was not ready for the weight of some of those stories the
Mhm.
way I am now.
Yeah.
I'll throw
Dick,
another one out there for y'all. Fucking Paper Girls.
Paper
Like even
Girls.
though they get in the show,
Yeah.
Paper Girls is good as fuck.
Read that comic
That's
book series
good
before
point.
you watch the Prime Video show.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
we already know with Why the Last Man, there might be, you know, it's not going to be your full experience. If you watch the show first. Like, just take the time, read Paper Girls. It's so good. Brian K. Vaughan kills it. It's so good. Yes, Miss
That's
Pay
like the-
Dreadful.
7 to
And
Infinity
Preacher.
also.
Preacher was
Preacher.
an experience because
Mhm.
the comic books for Preacher, Sandman
Heavy as fuck.
racism.
Mhm.
Well, Preacher's racism was way past that.
Garth Ennis.
It was intentional though. It was
Yeah.
intentional because of where the places that some of these stories occurred.
Yeah.
Holy
Texas
fuck.
and
That-
Louisiana.
That was some heavy shit that was in them books.
Mhm.
I was like, I should not be reading this as a kid, but I kept going back to the comic shop and buying new books.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned Fables because you are casted in our Fables series. That's going to be coming like later this summer.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you can also, I'm going to bring up the Patreon again. I sent the character descriptions to Lynn, who at Gremlin Art is going to be, that's GREMLYNN, who did the art for Eulalia, as well as Strixhaven After the Fall is going to be doing the Fables art. So, you know, go ahead and hit the Patreon if you want to get art updates and stuff for that, because it's going to be dope, and I can't wait.
Play is going to, you're going to be in that time period, I swear.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna be sick. So yeah, go ahead and check out that session 0 as well. Perfect. Good question, Derek. All
So,
right.
Perfect.
Yeah. This cat is, you're like sourdough, baby. You're needy. So, is the human body just a soft Gundam?
No, the human body is a soup dumpling, which is just a subcategory of a sandwich. I mean, really think about it. We have a soft casing for a bunch of meat, bone marrow, and stuff like that. So a soft Gundam that doesn't really give all of, like, it doesn't give the wetness and the squishiness of us enough credit. Yeah, we're just giant soup dumplings.
Cool.
Motherfuckers be moist. I feel
Cool.
If you think about it long enough, I promise you, it'll make sense.
Oh god, fucking, oh my god. You managed to soup
I don't know how
dumpling.
you didn't expect that answer.
I didn't
Wes.
expect that answer at all, but you fucking got it. Why can't it be both? Is what fucking Rachel says. I had a fucking.
Because we're not crunchy enough.
We're not crunchy enough. We're not crunchy. We're not country and
Listen,
crunchy enough to be a gun.
I'm gonna tell you what you need to know about the Gundam comparison. Eventually, they're gonna take them Boston Dynamics dogs and they're gonna put a skin around them because they're too fucking freaky right now as those robot things. They freak people out. So you have to uncanny valley that shit. And so they're gonna give it a little skin, and there's gonna be your Gundams.
God damn it! It's gonna be like iRobot. They're gonna have like
Yes.
weird human features,
Yes.
but still be
They're gonna
robotic.
be kind of like transparent-ish, probably.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
gonna be
still
nuts.
robot. It's gonna be like a horror movie.
God, that's wild.
Just gonna give me even more fuel to run new TTRPGs.
Oh God! All right. So we've got a Patreon question, then we just had a question drop in the chat here. So this question comes from at yep, she's Blasian, Kitty Kimchi, and she had a question here. And I've got to give some context for this because motherfuckers could probably clip this shit and make me look like a fucking asshole. But she asked the question, during character creation, what would your night skin stats be? Night skin being in reference to a TikTok in which at Tony Weaver Jr. Read a tweet that said a bunch of racist shit about night skins, and then somebody took that TikTok and turned it into a D&D class. And so Kitty Kim, she wants to know your fucking stats for this.
So I'd have to like, I'd basically be a barbarian because because at that point, I have lost all ability to deal with Karens and Chads, and so I just got to fuck people up. Everything is on site. So like, I got a 20 in strength, a 14, 15 dexterity, 18 in con, and the rest of my stats are basically zeroed out because I don't give a fuck about charisma no more. I don't give a fuck about wisdom. I don't give a fuck about intelligence. It's on site with everybody, and I'm fucking your day up.
Fucking.
You say something even the slightest bit that could be interpreted as reckless, and I'm just backslapping just instantly. I'm going into rage instantly.
That's good
You're
to know.
cry. You're gonna cry at my fucking register. I'm jumping over that shit and throwing you out the window.
Oh my goodness! And if you want to see the TikTok in question, go follow Neo Soul God on TikTok.
Everybody.
Oh god! Apparently,
I'm gonna be like Jazz and Fresh Prince.
Oh no! Oh my god. Okay, so we have a highlighted question from @DND Jordan Lee. Also, go ahead and follow @DND Jordan Lee on Twitter as well. Go support her and stuff. Question: Dimples, is a dress a top or pants or a taco? Is a dress a top, a pants, or a taco?
A dress is a condiment. It's like putting sour cream on top of something. Because think about it. Like if we're soup dumplings, and clothing, it's just seasoning of some sort. And like we've already been seasoned at that point. So you're just, putting on like toppings. Like I guess it'd be closer to a cheese.
You just turned me into frat boy Cyclops. What the fuck? A dress is a condom, but I didn't even question it.
No. That's not right.
That's not right. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Just scientifically, that's not how that works. Oh my God, Derek, save us from this line of questioning with another question, please, homie.
Oh man. So favorite spot in Philly to hang out, like with your homies at night?
So,
because I plan to come up there soonish.
I'm a big fan of dive bars. I will go, like, I don't have a particular one I go to. I usually just hit Center City up, hit the smallest bars that has the least amount of chads in them, and I just get fucked up there. Because, like, I don't really have the energy to deal with crowds in a lot of places. So I'm like, what place is cheap? And here's the thing that I've noticed about dive bars. Even if the bartender, the people that own the bar, is slightly racist, when their bar is empty, they don't give a fuck. They don't
money,
give a fuck.
Baby.
The racism gets thrown out of the window, and they're like, here's cheap drinks. Your friend's sticking around for a little while. We're going to come back over here. We got cheap pictures for you, bro.
God.
This is one of those things that I've learned in my time in Philly. So I just hit up like small spots. Like, and that's what, like, when I got to Philly, I was 30. So my club days were kind of like behind me, the real like kicking it hard. So I just go to like spots where I can drink in a relative state of peace. Either that or I fucking karaoke. And if I karaoke, I'm probably getting super lit. The other thing I do is I like to go over to spots over across the bridge in Jersey where there is all white people and just bring a bunch of hood niggas. just bring them all in there so that like everybody is like staring at you, especially on like a karaoke night. And then you just turn that shit up, because even when they tell you they don't have shit on karaoke, listen, you can turn the right songs. You just have to know them. Like I get in there and I do Shout by Otis Day and the Knights, the version from Animal House.
Oh my God.
And then it gets lit.
Oh God.
It gets lit. That is my works every time song. And then if people getting too reckless with me, I just sing "Hit 'Em Up" style by Blue Cantrell. I,
All right.
I'm a clown
All
when
right.
I go
Yeah.
like that's my thing. Is just go over a Jersey side and just do reckless shit,
Yeah.
and then Uber out of there as soon as things start to get real dangerous. And like you got to be quick on your Uber skills because it's gonna take you like 20 minutes in a lot of these places.
Yeah.
So you got to be like you got to plan ahead. Like when you do that last song, your Uber's already called, your tab is closed out.
We gotta do big karaoke next PAX Unplugged. Just get a bunch of fucking foolish people
100%.
and just fucking do it. Because that's like it's always good when you go to karaoke. You have to have standards that like standard anthems that you know by heart that you can work the crowd with. Because like it's good up there to sing a song, stare at the screen, but like especially in a group setting. So like fucking my go-tos are "Smooth" by Carlos Santana and Rob Thomas. Grammy Award winning, and then "Let Me Clear My Throat" by DJ Cool is a go-to. Also, fucking "No Diggity" by Blackstreet is also a good one too.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, "Tequila."
If I'm feeling myself too much though, I'll get up there and do some Adele.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a real hit or miss thing because if I'm too drunk, I'm not hitting no notes. If I'm at that perfect spot, I'm actually gonna do all right. And if I'm not drunk enough, it is a disaster and a half.
Yeah.
Because I realize that I should not be trying this.
Yep. Yep. I will bail. I'm also not afraid to bail on a karaoke song. There was one time
on the song. I bailed on the song before. No question about it.
There was Helena by My Chemical Romance. I thought I had it, and I went up there, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker, Jared Way, sings really high. And then, so I just kind of bailed on it and just, like, gave fucking mic to somebody else and just fucking...
I was singing, I think it was Sugar by Maroon 5.
Oh.
And my voice failed me. And I've done this song. I've done Sugar a multitude of times at karaoke.
But there's a moment.
My voice and I was like, uh-oh.
It's gone. It's gone. It left the building.
Nope. Here. Nope, I'm done.
My voice went to bed before I did.
I was done. I was like, yep, time to go. I recognize it. I'm not about to just go up here and embarrass myself for the rest of this fucking song. No.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all got that moment of me breaking, and that's all you got.
God damn.
Ain't nobody gonna have me on their TikToks or World Star and me.
Hey, Wes, you want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
I've never done karaoke before.
Ever?
As a person that has been on stage and rapped on stage.
Yeah.
I've never done karaoke.
You performed multiple times.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable.
We gotta change that. You're coming next PAX Unplugged. That's fucking non-negotiable. Yeah. You're coming with. Act Foolish in Philadelphia.
We're gonna do karaoke.
We're gonna get you a media badge and everything. We're gonna get you covered, taken care of. We'll get you on a panel. Music and TTRPGs. Done. Fucking make it. Send it. Full send it. We got you.
All right.
Yeah, I mean your music's been featured in an actual play before, so you count. There you go. Fucking done. All right. The Thonic Kids. Thoughts. I've been asking every single one that we've been interviewing. The Thonic Kids. Thoughts. What do you got for us? Tell us about them.
What do you mean thoughts? Just.
What do you got? Yeah. What do you got about the? Tell us about the Thonic Kids. How do you feel about the Thonic Kids?
All right, I'm about to say some soft shit, so here y'all go.
Buckle up, y'all.
I have had the opportunity to play with a lot of people since I've started doing this, like incredibly talented people who are actually on fucking TV shows and shit. It's a wild thing to think about. I played with the Thonic Kids, you all, and I've never clicked so quick with a group, like ever. Like you just meet some people, you chop it up, and you're like, instantly, we're all friends now, period. Like it was not like, oh, this is the feeling out period to see if we actually click. It was just like that first session 0, I was like, all right, these my people right here. They get me. And that is, I feel like that is shown in everything that we've done. I don't get tired of y'all. And I get tired of a lot of people. I'm at that age where I get tired of people real quick. I don't have the patience to deal with people who fuck around and do dumb shit that I just don't have time for. Now I'm not tired of y'all, and I want to keep coming back and doing stuff with y'all every single time. Like we sit around after our games and talk for hours after we spent a 3-hour session. Like, and it never bothers me. I'm never like, oh my God, I just need to get away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how much more I can compliment everybody than that.
Yeah.
Because like, if you know me, you know that I don't have like, I have ADHD. I don't have patience for myself half the time. Like,
That's a fucking, I feel that.
So y'all my homies. Like, I appreciate y'all. Like, I am glad to have met y'all, and my life is more fulfilled to having y'all in it.
That's I'm seeing. We've interviewed 3 of us. It's been you, April, and Rachel, and we're getting Vin on here, and we've got Bully on here because Bully fucking lost his voice, like an asshole. You know how Bully does, though. You know, he's got to do it on his own time. He's on table goth time. You know, so we'll get him in here. But it's like, all 3 of you have said that session 0, and I'm pretty sure with Bully and Vin, it's probably gonna be the same thing. Is that session 0, like, we all knew it was fucking, we're like, yeah, this is heat, this is magic, we've got something here, and it's fucking carried on. We've done 3 games, we've done 3 shows with each other. We got a 4th coming up. It got announced. We're doing Good Society, over on Table Goth. Old Miss Petty Dreadful's gonna be running it. It's gonna be great. And then we've got you and Vin running something, and I'm excited. I'm just
like, ain't nobody fucking with my click.
There you go. All right, we got another highlighted message. This is from @TwinDadTwitches. How do you feel about the economic impact of adventurers flooding the economy with captured wealth from their adventures?
So I'll put it like this. In most of my games, I don't give a shit. I flood my games with magical items and money and shit like that for the most part, because the goal of my games that I've run so far, and I'm not saying this is going to stay this way forever, but the goal of my games that I've run so far is to make my players feel like superheroes, like they can do fucking anything. That way, when they hit a wall and they can't, it feels that much more impactful. So go spend your money, buy random shit. Just know that the other side is doing the same fucking thing. And at some point, you're going to run into them. And when you run into them, they're going to fuck your shit up. And I warn my players of this all the time. I'm like, yes, you're going to feel really powerful a lot of times until you don't. And when you don't, it's going to suck for a little bit, but then you'll realize that I've been building you towards this the whole time. I drop hints. I give you forewarning. You know, someone else has bought all of these items at this shop. Oh, that +3 sword is gone. Why is it gone? Who can afford a +3 sword? Yeah. That guy's out there doing their thing too. Wonder what's going to happen. And then when you run into him, you're like, oh shit. Oh, and the best part about this, because I'm very smart and I listen to my players, is I bait them. I do. I bait them into fights. I know the buttons to press. I know how to pull them into something. And almost universally, always, they don't know when to run. And so I end up fucking their shit up. And it is incredibly satisfying to me because I never cheated you. You got to do almost everything you wanted. I gave you opportunities. I forewarned you. You know that something else is out there. And when you go to challenge it, I always give you a chance to get out. But if you push it, consequences will be dire. As DMX says, it's not a fucking game.
I've got a couple of things that happen in all of my games that I run. One, there's always going to be a character named Doyle, and there's always going to be a guy in a hat. And what I mean by a guy in a hat, there's always going to be a guy in a hat that is going to push you into a fight. And sometimes people listen, and sometimes people don't listen. They never listen. Camp Half-Blood, one of the 4 wins, guy in a hat. Iron City by Night, my Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle, One of the priest, Father Frank Wesley, that was so named by Zachary Valdo. Guy in a hat. Fucking Crack the Sky, Alpha. One of the main bad guys. Guy in a hat. Always a guy in a hat that's gonna push you to get into a fight. Because something about fucking pushing people is that it's a guy in a hat and he talks like he knows more than you or he's better than you. And always, the motherfucker's wearing a hat. There's something I don't trust him. Oh, the guy's wearing a hat. Why is that guy wearing a hat? Does he think he's better than me? He's wearing a fucking hat right now. Yeah.
That's some Philly shit right there.
Yeah.
That's some Philly shit.
There's a guy in a hat. There's a guy in a hat. Derek, go ahead and give us some more questions. We're getting a little bit low on time, so we're gonna push through these.
Okay, so you're given a game line for the TTRPG of your choice. What's the system, genre, and setting?
You get to do whatever you want with it. You are making like a supplement book, I'm guessing.
I want to think about this for a second because I have more than a few ideas. Honestly, I would do something off the wall, and I'm gonna tell you what this is. I would have people play a game, and this probably would only work for a certain subset of people, and I'm okay with this. I'm okay with my game being semi-exclusive to certain people, but I would have people traveling through time to stop their sports teams from leaving, to find ways to stop their sports teams from leaving their cities. You know, like when the Rams left St. Louis, the Browns left Cleveland, the Raiders left Oakland. I would have players play through that, and they're basically trying to negotiate their way into making it so that their cities can keep their teams. The system, I don't fucking know because here's the thing. It'd probably be some sort of like offshoot of Monster Hearts, except they're not monsters. They're all like political archetypes that turn into worse versions of themselves, essentially. Because I think banging would absolutely happen in these stories because banging absolutely happens in any, human story where you're dealing with politics, be it for good or bad. And it would be set in a multitude of cities because it would be like glimpses in certain points in time. Like this is, 97 through 99 Cleveland, Ohio, and so on and so forth. Again, only a certain subset of people this will work for, but I'm okay with that because I think the people who get it would absolutely adore this kind of thing.
Yeah, that's actually really a good idea.
That
I'm weird. If you give me time to have ideas, I will come up with dumb shit. I came up with, Tiamat is the Monstars from Space Jam. All the
I
heads
saw
the
post about that.
did
like
do
this
that.
is the kind of dumb shit that I come up with if you give me time to think about.
You did do that. Well, speaking of situations like that where you turn Space Jam into a game here, there's been a highlighted message here from @D&D Jordan Lee. What has been your favorite thing to drop in a charity game? D&D, VTM. Do you have a favorite moment?
I'm gonna go to the restroom right quick.
Oh, go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
I mean, I liked the Pill Murray and the
Pill Murray.
So, I had sound clips that were like voice clips from Space Jam. And I was talking and I dropped it's because I'm white, isn't it? And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't play defense. And so his thing was in the game, he threw a like behind the back pass and the ball hit every one of the players and did a heal across the whole group. It was like mass cure wounds essentially.
Amazing.
I thought that was a pretty cool moment. There's probably several others that I've done that I think I was very creative in that game. They had the I think I pulled the Knight card out of the deck of many things, and I had Lola Bunny come up as the level 4 warrior that you get in there. Yeah, it's I like to do in charity games, I like to just do fun off the wall things. So if I'm in charge, I'm going to do silly shit because I think people like to laugh and enjoy these things.
Yeah.
Because the rules shit, like one of the greatest compliments I ever got in a game that I've run was after that game, someone was like, I played in a bunch of Level 20 games, and they're like, all of them seem super duper sweaty and like focused on the rules, and you got to plan out your turns and stuff like that. And I didn't feel that stress in your game, not once. And I was like, that's a fucking high compliment, because level 20 D&D is a goddamn mess.
It's a night. I'm gonna be honest. It's a nightmare. I consider it to be a nightmare.
It's so much shit to manage.
Yeah.
And especially in a one shot, and depending on your familiarity with D&D, it could be even worse. So I was like, fuck the rules, pick some random shit. I was like, pick some items. We're going to flavor them for the game, and we're just going to run with it. And I don't care about the rest of the stuff. And if someone gets mad about D&D rules lawyering, just fucking drop kick them in the face. I don't give a fuck. Like,
don't have time for it. Don't have time for it at all. Yeah. I think that's why I stick a lot more to like more narrative game systems nowadays. I used to be very much into like crunchier game systems and stuff like that, but the rules lawyering turned me off to it quite a bit. I'd have to say, more so than anything.
I'll be honest, I'm not a super big fan of super crunchy games.
Yeah.
And that might have a lot to do with my ADHD.
Yeah.
But I feel like the rules lawyering is one, but the other is so much time between turns in D&D. And that's the problem that I have with D&D more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm in combat, it might be a half hour before I actually get to do stuff, especially when you start talking high levels. So I don't want to sit here for a half hour and do diddly dicks the whole time. And this is my problem with like crunchy games with combat systems, like tactical combat. It just takes too damn long. Yeah. I'd rather play a game like this solo than play with other people.
Yeah.
I want to interact with everybody.
I love tactics games.
Have that option.
Yeah.
Me too. I love them.
Yeah, but
I've played through Fire Emblem 3 Houses 4 times now. I've played through XCOM probably like 8 times. It's a problem.
But
I am waiting for Advance Wars. I don't have money right now, but I will fight somebody for Advance Wars. I will go in the room like in a ring with Mike Tyson for Advance Wars. Give me the fucking game.
Yeah. I was about to buy a Nintendo Switch because of Advance Wars Reloaded or whatever, because Advance Wars 1 and 2, it's remastered. I love that game.
I used to play Advance Wars on my Game Boy Advance or Game Boy, what's it? Game Boy SP. At the GameStop I worked at and the mall. Was that back in like 2004, 2005? With one of my coworkers, and then they start cracking down. And it was like, y'all can't have fun here no more.
Oh God.
that was back in the days at GameStop where they're like, you have to wear a collared shirt and dress pants days. And I was like, do y'all know who your customers are?
Right.
There's moms who don't give a shit, and there's kids who want people to play video games to tell them about video games. Exactly. I look like someone's fucking dad.
God. Is that the goddamn truth? Why are you asking me? Like, that's me when I manage the journeys. Why are you asking me? I don't dress like your kid. Why are you asking me? What does your kid want? Hey, what do you want? What do you like?
Right.
What is something that you want? No. Don't ask me.
I have an amazing skill at communicating with moms.
Yeah.
This is a talent that has paid off for me, especially during my college days. Hashtag sugar mamas forever. Nothing like playing Madden and whooping somebody's son who's like 16-year-old's ass in their own house.
The disrespect.
I was a mess in my college days.
The disrespect. I'm gonna come on to your house. I'm gonna take your fucking franchise. We're gonna sit down, play 2K. I'm gonna sit in your beanbag chair, eating your Oreos or eating your snacks, drinking your soda, to show you what for. And then we'll go hang out with your mom real quick. God, fucking. Oof, that just took me back.
I'm
Also,
a
if you're
different person now. I'm
yeah,
an adult. I've
hey,
grown so much since then.
look, I'm not. Hey, shout out to all the sugar mamas. If you're out there, hit me up at Thirst Trap Moth on Twitter. Let's make it happen. AEW wrestling tickets are kind of expensive. Let's talk about it.
No lie.
Perfect. No lie at all. What do you want to see more of in the TTRPG industry?
I want to see more more content, games, game systems, things of that nature from people who look like me. I want money to be put behind actual play games without mega stars in them. Like I want people to be given opportunities. Like if you have to have auditions, do auditions. There's a shitload of talented people out there that get overlooked all the goddamn time. I've seen them. I've played with them. I want people to have more opportunities, and there's money in this.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to make money on Twitch, obviously.
Yeah.
And without algorithms boosting you up, it's hard to do it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there is money in this. People are entertained by this content. There's so much, like honestly, I hate to capitalism everything, but like when people come up with interesting characters and storylines and shit like that, there's a lot of opportunity for art, figurines, things like that. And people are willing to spend on these things.
Yeah.
It's not just Critical Role.
Nope.
I promise you. Like it's not. If you look at Kickstarters, there's a lot of money there. You just have to invest in people.
Yep.
And right now, the people that need that investment are not getting it.
Nope.
It's going to the same people who always get it. And I'm not saying those people shouldn't get their back. Go for it. Get paid. But I'm saying y'all got to take some chances on other people to really give them the opportunities, because there is other shit out there that can be amazing. People just need the opportunity, like, to get seen doing it.
Other people deserve their flowers. That's like the thing is that like, and it's the people that you don't expect either. And like I like rolling D20s. I'm gonna throw y'all into that. Philly by Night. It's fucking entertaining as fuck, but it doesn't even stop there. It goes on. There's so many channels. There's so many like designers out there. There's so many like people that have such interesting concepts and ideas that are like just getting slept on. And like you said, we know there's money in it. Kolok, Hyper RPG is sponsored by AMC now. That's huge.
Yes.
I can watch Kolok, the whole series, on the AMC Plus app. It's a bad app. The UI is bad, but I can watch it, and that's wild to me.
Right.
That is, I can watch a TTRPG show on a fucking AMC app.
I mean, we had Overwatch League on ESPN. You think about that for a second. Overwatch League was on ESPN at one point. ESPN gave up on that for good reasons, but nonetheless, it was there. There is money in this. People just have to, like, they have to invest in it. That's it. Like, it just needs to be money invested in it. And I'm not just talking about here's enough money to get a show started. I'm talking about marketing campaigns. I'm talking about getting the word out across multiple things. I'm talking about getting in touch with other content creators to help boost this, putting it on podcasts and things of that nature. Like, the effort that you put behind a hot TV show or some new shit reality show that's out, if you put that behind a good TTRPG show, you will get people to watch.
Yep.
Like people have subscriptions to your Netflixes, your Paramount Pluses, your Peacocks. Why can't they have a show that's a TTRPG show?
Yeah. And it's wild to me
they
because
want to get a younger audience. They always are talking about getting younger audiences to stick around.
This is the gateway. This is the gateway right here. This is the gateway right here. And we know that there's so much talent. And we've got so much talent in this chat right now.
I know there's a show on G4. I'm not dunking on the show on G4, but I'm dunking on the show on G4. It's not for mass consumption.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for mass consumption. You need to have, like, Critical Role is lightning in a bottle. You're not going to get Critical Role.
Nope. Stop trying to make critical. Stop.
This is like the people who are trying to make the next World of Warcraft. It never happened.
No.
There was no next World of Warcraft.
No.
You're not going to capture that same lightning. However, that does not mean that there's no money in it. Like, just because you can't be the next World of Warcraft doesn't mean you can't be Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Final Fantasy 14 is still getting the bag.
Yep.
Now, do they have, 20, 25 million subscribers at any given time? Maybe not that much. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not making, $1 billion a year off their game.
Yeah.
But that does not mean there's not money, and that does not mean it's not worth investing in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to see.
Completely agree. And Noble and Nick brings up a good point here that Final Fantasy 14 is currently bigger than WoW, and I completely agree with you. But you know why? And I'll tell you why. And I've got 2 letters for you, but it's just one that's been doubled. FF, Final Fantasy. That is why. That is why it's bigger.
And think about this. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 when it first came out.
When it was shitty. When it was shitty.
Came out.
Yep.
So
when it was bad.
That game could have died then. They kept investing in it. And World of Warcraft had to fall off at some point, right?
Yeah.
But World of Warcraft is what, 17 years old now?
Yep.
18. World of Warcraft is the age of an adult.
Yeah. It
was on top for over a decade.
Yep.
Think about that.
Pretty much.
It came out and ate EverQuest shit right at the start. Just
EverQuest,
shit all over EverQuest.
Guild Wars,
nothing else compared.
Nothing. The Old Republic, Star Wars Galaxies lived and died because of fucking WoW. Fucking all of them, everything.
Stop. Don't try to be that.
Try to make your own.
Don't try to be that.
Yep.
Find your lane,
market
that lane, and do that thing. And with enough time, money, and effort, I promise you can find the audiences.
Yep.
Perhaps if this was 1990, you wouldn't get anything but bros.
Yeah.
But it is 2022.
Yep.
By the time of the show, if you really put in production on the show, by the time you got something off, it'd be into 2024, 2025.
Yep.
But you'd have something that has the potential to be amazing.
Yep.
You just have to let people have the creative freedom to do their things and put the marketing dollars behind it.
Yep. Because that's the thing is, if you put it in front of people, and I'm gonna shout out our own channel too. If we had the same amount of money that maybe Geek and Sundry had, or a lot of these other big companies, I would have totally put Kingdom Hearts and Sister War in front of a bunch of other people. Now that gets into copyright and that gets into fucking licensing and stuff like that. But you know what? Could you imagine if Square and Disney actually put support behind that? How fucking huge that would have been? It would have been fucking out of the park. Just out of the park. And I think like what you said, it would be nice for big companies to support that like that, but it's not going to start with big companies. It's going to start with the companies, the publishers. It's going to start with the publishers. And it's going to start with them being able to put that marketing behind these things and paying attention to these streams too. Because a lot of these publishers don't pay attention to the streams. No. They either produce their own or they just, give a thumbs up and a retweet occasionally and stuff like that. But if you paid attention to how much connection there was happening with a lot of these streams with your product, it would rethink your whole marketing strategy. And that goes to providing early access to the materials. That goes to helping pay for art, paying cast members, helping with production costs, all that stuff like that. That's one of those things. You're getting free fucking advertisement from these.
I'll put it like this. You ever see a tweet that someone puts out there and then one celebrity, somebody important, whatever, retweets it and that shit takes off?
Yeah.
Just one little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine if you put that in the hands of Dungeons and Dragons or, anybody who's big in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
You got hell, my Browns players are on fucking TTRPG streams now. This is mainstream.
Yeah. It's mainstream.
This is not something that is just a flash. People are doing this. This is what they're spending their time. They enjoy it. Stephen Colbert was on Critical Role. And I know Critical Role is the big show.
Yeah.
But think about what that actually means when it comes to the audiences that watch stuff. He's talking about this on his late night show. I'm going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
There's money there. Y'all are missing the boat. And all it's gonna take is one group of people who get behind one of these things and hit it in that right spot, and it's gonna take off.
Yeah.
And then everybody's gonna be scrambling to keep up.
Yep. And you're gonna be too late. You're gonna be too
It's
late.
gonna be too late.
Yep. You're gonna be seeing fucking Arby's too with their fucking nerd shit, their video game stuff, where they make the cardboard with the sauce art and stuff like that. They did that for Critical Role. We got a fucking wildly successful animated series. Rivals, because of like the merit of that cast and that fucking in like the DMs and their storytelling and stuff like that. They deserve more. Rivals deserves more.
10 seasons.
10 seasons
of that show.
They've been doing this shit for a while. They've been doing this shit longer than you think. And they laid the foundation.
That was the first show for Dungeons and Dragons that I ever listened to. It was Rivals of Waterdeep.
Rivals of Waterdeep. That was the fucking right there. Even before Critical Role, Adventure Zone, all that shit. Like, it was right there.
Yeah.
God damn it. Derek, you got a couple more questions, then we got a rapid fire round, and then we're going to let Prince get to whatever the Prince does.
I've drank like 4 drinks. I got to piss like a
Oh,
racehorse.
go for it. Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Go for a second.
Go for it. Yeah, we can entertain the crowd right here. I just want to go ahead while our man is going to use the restroom. This is a long interview. I think this is taking the place for our longest interview. I think so. Yeah. We've gotten here.
We broke the record again.
We did it again.
We on some Lewis Hamilton shit.
After last week. Oh, yeah, we definitely were Lewis Hamilton. We're fucking just keep on like lapping ourselves and stuff like that. Derek. Okay, we got some questions. Who's got questions for Derek? There we go. So we're seeing some talk about hyper RPGs, honestly, what I consider to be the best in production time. Yes, and that comes from the merit of that studio and Zach. But you also have to keep in mind, and this is something that I like to remind people, hyper RPG had Geek and Sundry and Hollywood connections for a while. And then Nobleman Nick. Derek, what do you think of the interstitial finale?
All right, so check it. I didn't watch it last night when it came on. I got up this morning and watched the VOD. And when the effects started happening on screen, I was like, yo, Nick going off. Cause like he's running the game and doing the effects.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's switching the music.
Yes.
In time too. Like he was juggling and handling it extremely well.
That's like I like full 100% shout out and stuff like that. And that's like every time somebody's brought up Interstitial War to me, I'm like, that's Nick. Send that love to Nick. That's we're just the venue, dog. Like that's all it is. We're just the venue. That's like Nick 100%. And like that's the cast and that's Nick, because Nick was like ran production, fucking did graphics, did overlays, made the marketing stuff, like screen caps, all that stuff like that. Was playing DJ. There you go, buddy. All that stuff like that. We got another question. Derek, you can only eat one dish for the rest of your life. What dish is that?
You know what? It'd be a toss-up between like ramen or ravioli.
Damn. Both pastarini. Both pasta.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form.
No judgment. My answer would have been lasagna.
Pasta.
Like pasta.
Baked ziti.
It's something about them noodles, dog.
It's them noodles.
Mm-hmm.
They hit different. And then we've got at Vin Vox says, hey, Derek, what are you listening to this week?
This week, Flume dropped.
Yep.
Flume's album is really good. Still listening to the Kendrick. Du Bois album. If you just want some fun Bay Area ignorance, Du Bois album is fun.
Definitely.
What else? I think that's about it. Then I always go back and listen to like Lil Snake whenever I want like some just ideas on where I can take music. I get to go back and listen to Lil Snake. Oh, G Jones bass and fucking EPOM dropped a collab EP. That's really good. If you're into like acid music and bass music, like it's a real good album.
Fucking amazing. All right, welcome back. I hope your bathroom time was fucking fantastic. 10 out of 10 experience.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out Nick because y'all brought that up. That episode was dope. Nick, I see you on the production. We're gonna record a show in the studio. You're gonna be executive producer, fam. I have the space. I have the space, homie.
I can't wait for that collaboration. Can't wait for that collaboration. I'm here for it. He's got the fucking camera. He already knows he's got the camera.
I got what? I got another one. We got angles, bro.
Angles, angles. That's what we need. Amazing, amazing. All right, Derek, hit the homie
right.
with more questions.
Cool. Do you have any tips for people looking to get started in like TTRPG or just general streaming? Like,
If you're trying to do TTRPG streaming, I guess there's a ton of resources out there, but I'll tell you what, a lot of them are not going to help you because you're not going to know the problems that you're going to run into until you run into them. There's some shit that you're going to have to just learn on your own. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fuck shit up. You will have technical difficulty issues. It is what it is. But I think the thing that has always stood in my head, and I was talking about this on Twitter earlier today, is that at the end of the day, remember that you're running a collaborative game with your players.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a combative game with your players. It's you versus them. It's a collaborative story that you're telling.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep that in mind, a lot of your stress will be very low because you won't run into the drama that a lot of tables run into where they have problems with the players at the table, or they're like, my DM's not listening, because you're always listening if you're doing this as a collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
This is not yours. This is all of yours at the table. And remember that everything else will be easier because people will give you time to step up your production, get your sound quality up, your parts and pieces that make things run smoothly. But if you have a shitty table and that attitude shows, they will not give you time for that.
Mm-mm.
They will leave and they will not come back.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. There are 1,000 other shows out there, and they will find one.
So much content.
Yep, they will find one. So
I'm glad everybody I played with like had that idea in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lucky that for the most part, my entire experience has been like that. You know, a game or two, I'm like, I probably won't fuck with these people again or something like that. But like for the most part of like me gaming, everybody's been dope. Like everybody. Yeah. So I don't have the complaints. I don't have those horror stories that people talk about on Reddit. I don't have none of them. I'm just like, yeah, for the most part, I'm just like, how people chill. I think I'm here to have fun and play together and be good to each other.
Yep.
They're about sharing spotlights and everything. Like, I think, especially when you're running the games, though, like, you need to have that attitude more than everybody else because it spreads across the table. Like, when you're GMing a game, if you come in there with a funky ass attitude, your players are going to have a funky ass attitude. They're going to give that shit right back to you, and it's going to get toxic real quick. That does not mean you have a bad day. People get to act shitty. No, I'm saying
no.
This is a consistent behavior sort of thing.
Yeah,
so just bring that good attitude to bring people together at a table, and everything else will work itself out.
You're a director. Like everybody's looking to you to like captain the ship, but that doesn't mean that you get the fucking like dunk on people all the time or anything like that. There's a complete difference between bossing and leading, and you gotta clarify that too. You gotta figure out exactly. Figure out what you're trying to do. What's your purpose? Completely. All right. So we've also got a big question at the end of the show that we always ask all of our guests before we do our rapid fire round. We do a rapid fire round where me and Derek are going to go back and forth and ask you different questions, and you got to answer everything off the top of the dome. But Derek has got our most important question out of all of these that you've been asked so far. So Derek, why don't you go ahead and hit Prince with it?
All righty. So, what things do you want to come from your time on Earth?
Ooh, from my time on Earth, So the short answer is I want to leave everything that I've touched better than it was before. But I think that's like canned and everyone said that before. So the better way to put it is that if I had the choice, I would want people to remember me for taking the time to give a shit, like actually putting in effort into being kind towards people, to help boost people up, to make them remember that, you know, when I'm not around, that I gave them the kind of love that made them want to give that same kind of love to somebody else. Like that you want to, that I inspire you to want to make an impact. Like I don't feel like I need to be remembered for all the things I did. But I want people to remember me for the impact that I've made on people who went on to make a bigger impact. It's not about me. Like, if I can inspire someone who goes on to, you know, cure cancer or clean up the ocean, like that means way more to me than being recognized for it. So that's the kind of impact I want to leave.
Amazing. Fantastic. Well put. Very much well put. All right. Well, we have spent a very long time. Prince, I'm going to tell you, you are all about shattering records, my friend. And you've shattered a record here on Carrying Cover Studios of being our longest interview guest that we've had so far. But it's not because you were droning on or boring, but you've definitely been very, very interesting. And I feel like I know you better. Even though I thought I knew you pretty well, I think I know you better. I hope that everybody at home knows you better. And I can't wait to see what more comes from you. But before you go, you're not completely out of the woods yet. We do have a rapid fire round. We've got a series of questions, and I want you to be able to answer these off the top of your head. Both me and Derrick have these. And this is like word association. First thing that comes to mind. I will rush you. I'm going to be like a coach pushing you while you're doing suicides.
The Prince says, bring it.
Bring it. All right. Cool. All right. So everybody, before we send Prince off and he can tell us where to find him and all that stuff like that, and we go ahead and we raid into some friends, go ahead and show some love and get ready for our rapid fire round. Derrick, why don't you kick us off?
All right. What social stigma does society need to get over?
Farting in public. It's not that big of a deal.
Jim's South Street or John's Roast Pork?
Jim's.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel. 100%.
Favorite slasher movie villain?
Michael Myers, easy.
Vikings or samurai?
Samurai.
What's the most expensive thing you've ever broken?
Ooh, a TV.
Should anime be allowed?
Yes? Question mark.
Dream blunt rotation.
What's that?
Dream blunt rotation.
Dream blunt rotation.
Yep, you're in a circle. There's a blunt being passed around. Who's in that circle? It's you and who else?
Shit. Okay. I want Rihanna because I've always wanted to meet Rihanna. Questlove, because Questlove had some of the dopest conversation I've ever had with a celebrity. Mike Tyson, because he's absolutely fucking hilarious. And Oprah, because I think Oprah has a lot of knowledge that she can spread, and she would be really good at it high.
Amazing. We got Oprah, Questlove, Riri, and Mike Tyson all in the Dream Blunt rotation with Prince. Let's go ahead and make that content. Let's put that on fucking TV.
I need to watch that.
I need to watch that immediately. Somebody please. Fucking Jimmy Fallon, use your fucking money for good for once and make that happen. There we go. That is our rapid fire round. You did stunningly. I think you did the quickest rapid fire round we've had on the show either. So fucking breaking records left and right. I guess we could say truly.
Fire.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's safe to say we brought up Lewis Hamilton earlier, but I think that Prince is the Lewis Hamilton of the TTRPG.
Gems over John's. Like I should have said John's.
You should have said John's. Jim's over John. I was like, I did my research.
I realized after I said it, like I wanted to go back to that, and I was just like, well, we're already in another question, but that was an accident. It's John's.
Boom. It's John's roast pork. Go ahead and hit off John's roast pork if you just whatever sandwiches. There's one question that I also want to ask, and this is just me being selfish before we let you go ahead and go and tell everybody where to find you. Can you tell me why the best Philly cheesesteak in Philly is found in New Jersey?
Okay. This is complicated, but basically, that part of Jersey is just Philly extended, and we don't feel like fighting over it.
Okay.
Like, that's it. Like that's the one thing I'll agree with Philly people on is like this is just Philly part 2. It's kind of like a buck in New Jersey. It's not really Jersey. It's New York. It just has Jersey flashing on it, but it's New York. Like everybody there's New York.
I feel like you're the only person from Philly that I can safely ask that. I've asked Leslie that a bunch when I get the chance, and she's like threatened violence against me in like a very
That's because
reasonable
they're
way.
not realistic about these things. I told you the Philly people got some problems working out, and usually they're working out with violence.
There's
See,
Twin
because I'm not
Dad.
from here, I can speak with a clear and logical head.
Perfect. Well, before we get ready to raid over to some friends playing some games over here, I think we're going to raid over to Alonzo, who's playing Match of the Gathering right now.
It's
it
his
seems
birthday.
it's his birthday, so let's go get some love.
Happy birthday to my brother from another mother.
Give him some money, all that good stuff. It's his birthday. Let's help him celebrate it right. But Prince, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you and what you have going on.
Let's see. It is Saturday night, so you can catch me tomorrow over on my channel, twitch.tv/Dimples and Dice. I'll be running Wayward Revelry, a D&D 5e campaign based on Wild Beyond the Witchlight with my own sort of twist on that. I'll be over on Ralia, Amphitheater, 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday for a D&D 5e based in Redwall. There's a bunch of other stuff going on. I am on a new show over in Vancouver by Night that is at 6 p.m. Eastern time over on Vancouver by Night. It's a mini series where I am playing a Salubri. And if you don't know that in Vampire the Masquerade, I have another eyeball in my head. And it has magical vampire powers that does it. So there's a bunch of other stuff going to happen. Wes mentioned Fables. There's another game that we're going to be running over on Table Goth. Keep an eye out on my Twitter for all of that. And make sure you're following my sister station, Roll These 20s. We're off for the next week. And then we'll be back with our 5th and final season of Philly by Night. So do come and check that out. We're going to have guests. It's going to be an absolute shit show in the best way. If you like Philly and vampires and things getting blown up that are historic, you might want to come and check out that show.
Perfect.
Liberty Bell is incredibly underwhelming, by the way.
The fucking hot takes, I fucking love it.
I will slander Philly all the time. I just live here.
bro, I'm just sitting here. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Prince.
Derrick... Oh yeah, Cradle of Cain. Thank you, Nick. Sorry. What time and day is that? I'm on too many things, y'all. I'm on too many things. There's another show that I've recorded already that is going to hit the universe. There's tons of stuff. Tuesday at 8 p.m. So I'm being 2 places at once on Tuesday nights. How about that? Tuesday at 8 p.m. on the Overlords channel. Cradle of Cain. I play your best Samisi you've ever seen because I don't act like your typical Samisi. I have a sex boat. I mean, that'll tell you a lot of what you need to know, and I make meat puppets in it. So there you go. Come watch the show.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Prince. Derrick, why don't you go ahead and tell the people what you're doing, what you got going on, and where they can find you.
Let's see. Coming up this week, I believe I may stream. I think I'm gonna stream a game other than Elden Ring. I haven't decided on what it may be. I'm tossing up Final Fantasy 13, Mass Effect, and Revengeance. I don't know which one I want to do yet.
That's a good fucking mix.
I know, right? You can find me on Twitch at the Phasing Octopus. Everywhere at the Phasing Octopus except for Twitter. It's just Phasing Octopus. But yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic. My name's Wes. You can find me on Twitter at ThirstTrapMoth. Go ahead and follow me, interact with me, engage with me, and you can fucking follow us here on Twitch. Go ahead and tell your friends about us. We have a lot of great shows. A lot of great shows just ended. We just had Kingdom Hearts: The Interstitial War, and we had Yaziba, Room for Everyone, Yaziba's Bed and Breakfast. Just both ended, and those are both going to be going. The final episodes are going to be going up on YouTube next week, so you can go ahead and check those out. Catch the VOD for the finale here on Twitch. Go ahead and support those. Shout out our YouTube. Go and check it out. Go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. Guess what? It is free 99. You don't have to pay a cent to go check that out. And go tell people about the great shows that you see over there, whether it's Camp Half-Blood, all that other stuff. Go check out Table Goth. Go check out Hades High School, where you can see Prince and me playing Monster Hearts in the Hades universe. It's genius. It's amazing. Check out all of our sponsors. Go see all of that good stuff. There's so many good things that are happening. And go ahead and do something nice for yourself, but also do something nice for others. You know, fucking, if you see somebody that needs a hand, help them out. If you see somebody that needs a pickup, or just kind of be there for somebody. Go out. That's what I challenge you for this upcoming week. Is to fucking not just be a good person, but do something dope for somebody. And you can start off by doing that by go ahead and getting in the chat here, getting in the raid as we go ahead and go raid Alonzo Gonzo as he's playing Magic the Gathering. It's his birthday, so go give him some love. Go give him some money so he can get himself a cookie cake or something real nice. You know, all this other stuff. That is
trying to get a new computer chair. That's what he's trying to get. He's trying to get a new computer chair. He's sitting on a kitchen chair right now. It's not very comfortable.
Let's do it.
Help my boy out if you can. If you got it, help the boy out.
Let's do it. Let's do it. There's 13 of us. I think we got $5 between 13 of us. We can fucking figure it out and help the guy out. So let's go ahead and do that. That is it for Prince and Derrick. It is I, Wes, saying good night. I apologize for my new cat. He's going to be having a whole other apartment to roam through next week. But we will catch y'all later. Y'all have a good evening. And do not forget, comfort comes soon. Have yourself a good one.